Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 323 of Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe, and we are joined by two very special guests on today's episode. Welcome, for the first time from Dialogue Tree, Andrew Valentine. AV is on the show, along with renowned Spelunky and UFO 50 Head. You may know him from YouTube and Twitch. We have XanaGear. How's it going, guys?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you for having me.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Long time listener of the show. So, it's great to be here finally.
Yeah, big fan of your show as well, AV. It's a delight to have both of you on. We have you guys on today because we are going to be talking all about our reactions to the recent Nintendo Direct. It was kind of a controversial one, as Nintendo Directs are wont to be. I had like crazy reactions like right off the bat. It's kind of like when I saw like Star Wars Episode 1 and Episode 2 and Episode 3 in the theater for the first time, and then you think about it a little bit more and you settle. Right, but we're going to be talking all about our thoughts on the Direct here today. We got a lot to get to, so we're going to keep the show moving, but we do also have some other news that happened this week, including UFO 50 getting an update on Nintendo Switch, updates on the Switch 2 developer kit situation. Apparently the entire Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy will be making its way to Switch 2 and much, much more. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing? Do you guys have a good week this past week, Direct notwithstanding? What about you, Andrew?
It's been a week.
Mm-hmm.
It sure has been a week. The weekend was good. I spent most of it swimming, just
nice.
in different bodies of water. With my two youngest children, that was fun.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah, it's fairly low effort parenting. Just like get them in water, they're good. So that was that's been good. And the Direct was obviously certain elements of the Direct left me kind of like cresting a wave of excitement for a few days. So it's been good.
Yeah, there's some pretty interesting stuff in there. I can't wait to break that down. What about you, XanaGear? You have a good week?
Yeah, I had a good week. I live near Disney World, so I go to Disney World a lot. So that's kind of what I've been doing in real life, other than, the normal playing video games too much. I played like 80 hours of Silk Song this week, so...
Wow. Yeah, I've been seeing some of your updates on Blue Sky about your Silk Song playthroughs, and like you're getting that time down pretty low, it seems like, which is exciting to see.
I should have it sub 2 hours by the end of next week. Woo! I'd say.
Oh, doggy. That's what I'm talking about. That's dedication. You love to hear it.
I'm like 22 hours in. I could do with some tips.
Well, we'll have you guys have a little
later,
powwow after the show here. I don't need to be here for that, okay? Please. I'm a Silk Song hater. No, I'm just kidding. But I had a pretty good week. I mean, like the world has been pretty messed up.
I heard about that.
A pretty insane political climate right here in the U.S. But I think other than that, I've had a pretty good week overall. I'm a little sore today. I played fitness boxing Fist of the North Star for the first time since I had my surgery the other day. So I'm like, my arms are all sore right now. I feel kind of like a wet noodle. But I think I'm having a good time other than that. Just chilled with some friends. I'm at the point of my unemployment where I can't tell what any of the days are. So the only thing that's keeping me locked down right now is like, when I record the podcast. So listener, I do it for you and you guys do it for me. Not sure exactly what that means, but yeah. But that's been my week. We got a lot of news to get into, like I said, but before we do, I'd like to get into a little bit of shout outs that we had from last week's episode. We did an episode about our predictions, and we did that with Chris McKeever and Garrett Buss. That was a really fun show. A couple things on the Discord about that. Kiro Seta said, this episode was so good, such funny guests. Also shockingly accurate predictions about the Direct. I do feel pretty good about a lot of what we predicted there. Some of it was like tertiarily connected, but I'll allow it. I'm calling, what's the new Fire Emblem game called? Fortune's Weave. I'm calling that Four Houses for now. I think we nailed that one.
Yeah, you're pretty close on that.
Yeah.
fine,
I saw Sothis at the end of that, but we'll get to that in the main topic. Hans Gauger said this episode was like watching David hold on to the reins for dear life. That's true. Two comedians on the show last week made for a very chaotic episode, but I think we held it down pretty well. Over on YouTube, we had some comments on the direct reaction video. Krakow said that Virtual Boy reaction hit my soul. Sewing Shade says there's no finer way to take in a direct than in Switch Headz fashion. More than anything else, Virtual Boy announcement rocked my world, but I was probably happiest about Fire Emblem for Summer. Speaking of Summer, Summer's not on this episode, but we will be hearing from Summer in a pre-recorded segment at the end of the show to get all of their reactions on the Fire Emblem presentation there. And then Record says, Suika Game Planet. Metroid rides a motorcycle. A+. No notes. We'll be getting to all of our thoughts on those announcements in this episode as well. But before we get here into the news, I did just want to say, if you could tell a friend about the show, leave a review on Apple or Spotify. We have a video version of the show as well over there on YouTube, where you can see our beautiful faces. We got three very handsome gentlemen on today's episode here, so you'd be remiss to miss out on that. Go ahead and like and subscribe while you're over there. If you could, post the show to Reddit, share it with a friend, anything like that, we'd be very appreciated. We have a Discord as well and a Patreon, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show and ways that you can support Super Switch Headz going forward. But I think with all that out of the way, I'm ready to get on to the news. What do you guys think? You guys feeling good?
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go. We're going to start here with the most important news from the past week, and that's that UFO 50 got a new Switch icon. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know if you guys saw that icon before, but that thing was pretty horrendous.
It's really weird.
It seems like they just took the desktop icon for UFO 50 and blew it up, put it on the Switch.
Absolutely. I think Nintendo has had like they have like a style guide for how you're meant to style your icons on the Switch home screen. And ever since that became public, anytime a developer doesn't follow those style guides, the fans get like super pissed off. So apparently Derek Yu went on Blue Sky and was like, we know, we're changing it. We're sorry. But there was some other updates here as well. I think they added a pixel perfect mode and you can change your button layouts and stuff like that on Switch. Obviously UFO 50 was my game of the year last year. I'm such a massive fan. So great to see it on the Switch. AV, have you been playing UFO 50 at all? Is this exciting for you?
I have been playing UFO 50. I've played about probably about half of the games.
Finished half, right?
Yeah. Finished half. Yeah, definitely. No.
They're hard.
I feel bad to say that I've really only clicked with like 3 of them so far, but I really have only sort of been dabbling with it because there's been like some other like bigger stuff out. But so far like Ninpek, Magic Garden, and Velgress. I think those 3 are incredible. And nothing else has really clicked with me, but yeah, I've liked what I've played so far.
Well, you're still in the early '80s era.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, there's quite a bit of expansion going forward.
Yeah, I would say that first half is definitely the weakest part, but only because it's calling back to a very specific era of games that is, not as exactly mainstream these days. There's some good ones in the back half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I am going to carry on. I just feel like I've played like half the games. I feel like I've lived 3 lifetimes with this thing already, and it's like I'm only like halfway like through them, and still haven't finished any of them.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were asking about the possibility to like move your saves from one platform to another. I think Spelunky ended up doing that, right? Spelunky 2 maybe had that ability.
Spelunky 2 had that.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did that for UFO 50, but it seems like they've got a lot on their plate right now. I know, like, for instance, the Switch 2 doesn't have like kind of a native version, or there isn't a version that plays at 1080 or 4K. I would imagine that, Mossmouth doesn't have a dev kit right now. So a lot of people are holding back on stuff until they get dev kits. But you have been seeing some stuff, like I know, what was it? Easy Come, Easy Golf and Hot Shots Golf, the new games. Like those got like uncapped frame rate modes. It's just like something easy you can put out in the meantime. There are things you can do to push out updates even for Switch 1, but I think a lot of devs are hesitant on stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm taking the opportunity here to just kind of play the games again. I'm not having a problem going through. I'm not in any big rush, seeing that I've already played so much of it on Steam Deck. But such a great time.
I can't imagine being that attached to your save with a game like that. They're all so little arcade games, unless you really care about unlocking that background change when you get all the games done.
Yeah, that's true. And there is kind of like the metagame element too, which I never actually fully completed on the Steam version. So I kind of need to go back into it and unlock some of the secrets of that game as we go forward.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to go ahead and move on here to a couple bits of industry news regarding developers here in the world of Nintendo. And the first one is definitely controversial, and that is that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have received a U.S. patent on summoning a character and letting it fight with someone else. If that sounds very vague, that's because that is, and that is distressing to say the least. You would imagine that this is a part of the ongoing PalWorld dispute that they have with the developers of that game, because that is very much a Pokemon ripoff where you can shoot people with AK-47s and stuff. So I think Nintendo doesn't really like that game exists at all, and they're doing everything they can to make it illegal for that game to exist. But it does come here at the expense of Nintendo kind of furthering their recent trend of patenting video game mechanics, which I think is really problematic. XanaGear, do you have any thoughts on this and what this might mean for the industry?
Yeah. This one specifically, I was talking to my friends about it, and I was like, are they going to sue Blizzard for allowing you to summon skeletons in Diablo and then
right.
PvPing? It doesn't make any sense why they would go after it like this. There's so many better ways to go after something like PalWorld than patenting this specific mechanic. It's extremely troubling.
Yeah. AB, what about you? What do you think about this?
Yeah, this is a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
When Nintendo's getting into sort of like litigious stuff, usually it, like with the Yuzu thing, people tend to sort of like simplify the argument to like saying that old Nintendo are like anti-emulation, when they're just like they're doing a very like expected business thing of like protecting their current platform. So I'm usually sort of like conceding where Nintendo are coming from with things like that. But not so much this. This is quite grim.
Yeah.
The idea of locking away game mechanics, like really basic, like you say, vague game mechanics.
Vague.
Is like crazy. And them trying to do it is one thing. And I was reading this article. It said about how the patent office, they just granted it without really any like pushback. They didn't really question it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other problem. Like why? Like why wouldn't they question it? Like what benefits do they see that this has? Like to allow Nintendo to lock game mechanics behind a patent. It's bizarre.
I might be wrong on this, but it does feel a little bit like Nintendo is taking advantage of the ignorance of some of the people that work within these departments, and I think that, this isn't like a distinctly Nintendo thing. I think a lot of this really started with, who was it? That maybe it was Warner Brothers that patented the kind of, the hierarchical descendant ability from Shadow of Mordor. And I think that, that I think started this trend, in the same way that, it's like David Zaslav was the first person in the streaming to, delete something from a streaming service or delete a movie before it comes out and then write it off as a tax credit. And then you saw all the other studios following suit. This is kind of the sort of copycat behavior that gets me really worried about the future of the industry. And it's not to say that like Nintendo's going to go after Blizzard or anybody else who does anything like this. So they're going to go after Magic the Gathering or whatever, right? But it's like, I feel like this is targeted at Pocket Pair, but at the same time, it's like setting the precedent now opens up doors in the future for like really, really bad actors. And I don't know. I hate this. I've got kind of an episode hopefully coming up pretty soon about like indie spiritual successor games that owe their entire livelihoods to yanking game mechanics from old Nintendo games that nobody's playing anymore. Right. So I think that it's important for the health of the industry that we keep this around. But
Yeah, with the PalWorld situation, I'm of two minds of it because obviously I don't like PalWorld, so it's easy to be okay with Nintendo suing PalWorld.
Right.
But whenever you have like a indie game that kind of directly copies Pokemon, that allows for competition, innovation, and you can make a really good. An indie developer could make a really good Pokemon game that I want to play, and I don't want Nintendo to be able to shut that down just because you can summon monsters
Totally.
and fight in that kind of game. It's like what would back in the day would EverQuest sue World of Warcraft and then World of Warcraft doesn't exist because they have a hotbar at the bottom of the screen and you have levels.
Yeah,
it's messed up.
That's a great point. It's competition inspires innovation, right? And I think that people trying to outdo each other and people building off of mechanics that have been done before, I think is one of the greatest parts of the creative process. I think in any industry, not just video games. So hopefully we see some pushback from if not governments, then patent offices in the future, and we can maybe set a new precedent about this going forward. But this will be an ongoing thing that we have to talk about in the future. If you're going to make a Pokemon clone, maybe just don't put, semi-automatic rifles.
Yeah.
Maybe Nintendo will care a little bit less. But we'll move on to our next bit of news here, and that is about the ongoing Switch 2 dev kit situation. We don't have much to report here, but apparently there is a developer of a free-to-play game. It is the CEO of UFL Studios Strikers. I've never heard of that, but apparently they make a free-to-play soccer game here. They are saying that Nintendo is purposefully avoiding giving free-to-play developers dev kits. Now, obviously, take this with a bit of grain of salt. This is one developer saying this, and they are a free-to-play game developer, so they're a little butthurt probably that they don't have one yet, but a lot of developers still don't have dev kits, as has been known. These are starting to get doled out a little bit more. I know that already, the Warframe developers have said that they are finally working on a Switch 2 port, so they have dev kits. So that's a free-to-play studio. So it's not everybody, but word on the street is that more and more people are getting dev kits all the time. That kind of early drought, that was very frustrating for people, especially because a lot of development houses were not getting dev kits until after the Switch 2 released, meaning that a lot of third-party support has been pretty thin at the top of the Switch's life cycle here. Hopefully that will be changing. But do you guys have any thoughts on this free-to-play developers are being singled out news? Do you think there's any credence to this?
I don't think so. I think it's just standard Nintendo taking their time giving out dev kits, with which they should be forgiven for. The Switch 2 came in hot. They didn't have an extra year to ship it or anything.
Right.
The first thing that came to mind for me was, like, if this is true and they're actively keeping dev kits away from free-to-play developers, the Switch eShop has had, this notorious problem with, like, terrible software, like clogging it up for years. Is this Nintendo's way of trying to cut down on that, trying to like stymie that flow? They're like, because to me it seems like their options are to start vetting software, which they need to have a team for. That would cost money, and then if they start like stopping games from coming to the eShop, they'll be accused of censorship and whatever. Is this just their like kind of roundabout way of like stopping what they see as like low quality software from getting to the eShop by withholding this supply of dev kits?
I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I feel like most of the people that are like gaming the eShop are there to make money. So it's like free to play games with like microtransactions. I feel like that's not the meta when it comes to like gaming the eShop in order to like get stuff. It's putting games up for like $5, bringing it down to $1. And they're like asset flip games that have a lot of AI generated art or key art and hentai in the title or whatever. Like those are the games that then, it's like, oh, this game's on sale and oh, there's a big booby waifu on it. Like I'm going to grab this, so it's like, I think if anything, if Nintendo really wants to clean up the eShop, and again, that's an entire episode I think I'd like to do as well, is just what Nintendo needs to do to fix that damn thing, is I think they need really strict quality control when it comes to generative AI, right? I think, that is going to be a huge thing that's going to stop a lot of trash from just showing up willy-nilly. And then also, let's just ban the word hentai, man. Like, I'm okay with that. Like if you want to play like, sexual games, Steam is chock full of them, man. There's although that might be going away too, when it comes to those payment processors, but that's a different story, but we'll have to see. I think that some of this might explain why we haven't seen Marvel Rivals yet. If that is the case, last I've heard, that studio does actually not have a dev kit, but we all kind of expected to see that at the Direct, and that's not there. So we're going to move into a little bit of news, and this is kind of a spoiler for the main topic here, but obviously Final Fantasy VII Remake was shown at the Nintendo Direct, but in the last day or so, we're recording this here on a Monday, the Square Enix accounts on social media have said that not only is Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Switch 2, but also Rebirth and the third game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy will also be coming to both Switch 2 and Xbox platforms, in addition to PC and PlayStation. This is pretty exciting. I like hearing that the third game exists, if nothing else.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with it coming to Switch 2 and Xbox and everything is, man, they were not happy with the sales.
On PlayStation. Yeah.
They are going to put it on whatever they can put it on.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point. Yeah. Because Rebirth is the whole Final Fantasy VII Remake situation is kind of funny to me. I don't really know why they went this route of splitting it into 3 games, because the first third of Final Fantasy VII is the most iconic part of Final Fantasy VII. So it's like you're going to have diminishing returns just because you have to have played the first game before playing the second and third games. But then on top of that, it's like a lot of people are going to be happy just having played the first game, because that's the Midgar section, right? So I think, though, this is a great idea. I think that Switch has proven to be a fertile ground for the Final Fantasy series. They've had really great success with all the old releases coming out. The Pixel remasters, I think, sold really, really well on the Switch. Just having Final Fantasy VII or any of the Final Fantasy games portable is really, really nice. And if the graphics from, 7 remake intergrade running on Switch 2 or anything to go by, and what we've seen from the open world of stuff like Star Wars Outlaws using DLSS really, really well, and even ray tracing and stuff like that, I think that it's a really good chance that not only is Rebirth going to look really good, but we might see the third game come out day and date on Switch 2 with the other platforms. You have any thoughts on this, AV, before we move on?
I'm a bad gamer, and I've never played a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, big blind spot. All right.
So my thoughts are, I think like how Rebirth runs will be like I feel like that's going to be like the big acid test for like how powerful Switch 2 really is, or at least like how developers can like optimize for it. I feel like Square are going to be fine. It's good. Like I think it's good that these things are coming. That's and we will get to talking about Capcom at some point. It's good to see that, these big developers are supporting Switch 2. They're bringing their absolute, like their biggest games.
Day and date, too. I think that's really important to bring them day and date.
Yeah. Seemingly, uncompromised. So this is exciting. This is a good thing. I might even play a Final Fantasy game. Who knows?
Yeah. It's Remake is releasing at a very competitive $40, and that's for the upgrade version as well. It is a game key card that will be 90 gigabytes on your console. So have fun with that.
That's a lot of gigabytes.
Yeah, it sure is. We're going to go ahead and move on then from Final Fantasy to our next bit of news, and this is a small one, but Donkey Kong Bonanza has got a demo now on the eShop. Obviously, there was some Donkey Kong Bonanza news in the Direct, and we'll get to that in the main topic. But if you haven't had a chance yet to play Donkey Kong Bonanza or even try it out, and you own a Switch 2, this is your chance to try it out before you buy it. I think this is kind of a newer trend where games come out and then about a month later they put out a demo. It's kind of odd that is the case, but whatever, it's fine. I know Outlaws is also doing that soon. Have either of you not played Donkey Kong Bonanza?
have played a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Yeah, me too.
I've also played a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza.
All right, so this is not for us, but this is the PSA for anybody else, especially this holiday season. I think that people will still be snatching up Mario Kart World bundles on the Switch 2. So it'll be really nice, come this holiday when a lot of new Switch 2 owners have this to try out. I think that's a nice little thing. And goddamn, it's a good game. We'll talk more about Donkey Kong Bonanza later in the show, but let's move on now to a charming news item that I'm really happy to see. This just dropped the day that we're recording, but SEGA has put out a new commercial for Sonic Racing Crossworlds that is like a throwback to like the days of the like Sega Nintendo beef of the 90s and the console wars back then. This is a commercial that it doesn't call Mario Kart by name, but it has a blurred out footage of Mario Kart World playing on a TV. And then it's like a dragster, like a drag racer or whatever, like it has like a TV with Sonic Racing Crossworlds on the back of it. And it's like, do you want to play in some slow, boring open world, or do you want to go fast like Sonic? And it was just such a delightful commercial to see. And I love seeing the kind of like attitude come back here. It even had the racer at the end flip his visor up and go SEGA. So it was like definitely a throwback to the days of blast processing. But have any of you guys seen this, or are you interested in Sonic Racing Crossworlds? And also, just what do you think about SEGA starting beef with a company that they're releasing their game on their console?
SEGA starting beef. Yeah, I don't think they pose any threat against Mario Kart with Sonic Racing. Yeah. I'm excited for Sonic Racing though. I played a lot of Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart World this year, so I'm actually really looking forward to Sonic Racing.
Yeah.
I just they never learn. It's just like they've been doing like, oh god, been doing this since the 90s, and they say their stuff, and Nintendo don't respond because why would they? And they've just been like carrying on like this for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Just keep like punching themselves in the face with this kind of thing.
I think if anything, this is an indication that we're going to be seeing a Dreamcast 2, the return of Sega to the hardware market.
I'd be fine with that. I'll be fine with that. But I remember like when Mario Wonder came out and they released Sonic something. Generations, something.
Oh, what was that game called? I did not play that game. Exactly. Yeah, like the new 2D Sonic game or whatever. That came out.
The new 2D Sonic game that was the best one since like the 90s one.
Superstars, right? Sonic Superstars.
For the 10th time. Yeah, that sounds all right. And they released it on the same week as Wonder. And then like 2 weeks later, they were saying, like, oh yeah, Mario Wonder affected the sales. It's Nintendo's fault. Like, yeah, probably did. Yeah, probably did affect it. I know there was an interview with like one of the heads of like Sonic team as well, saying like, oh yeah, we're still competing with Mario. It's like Nintendo, like they don't even know who you are. Like, they have
Don Draper GIF.
They are, yes. They had Don Drapered you a long time ago. They don't think about you at all. I haven't actually seen this video. I'm sure it's very funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm just down for a return to 90s shit slinging. I think like that is like a great way to advertise. I'd love to see Nintendo get back into like some of their, grungier, like remember when the GBA SP released with that like, like a tribal tat on it, and like Mario had the tattoo, and or like the commercials where it's like,
I don't know if I want that.
Oh, I'm into it. I like it. maybe I'm being a little too nostalgic for the 90s, but
the first Switch 2 special edition will be like tribal tats on the Joy-Cons.
I do think though it's like because they went with such a distinct gimmick for Mario Kart World, it really does open the door for more traditional kart racers to come and like fill that void. Like I know, for instance, like I'm going back and playing Mario Kart 8 when I want to play online Mario Kart because I gel with that game more, and the kind of the more competitive nature. I feel like Mario Kart World is much more chaotic and a little more party focused, and so it's like, so I think it's good that we've got say Kirby Air Riders and Sonic Crossworlds coming out in the same year as Mario Kart World, especially for racing fans. It's nice to have a good bit of variety here, I suppose.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
We'll give them that.
We'll give them that. Bring back the 90s, Nintendo. You can do it. I think then with that, we'll move on to our last bit of news here. And this is a big old rumor. So take this with a big old grain of salt. And not only is it a rumor, it is a 4chan rumor. So the biggest salt shaker you got, go ahead and pull out as we go through this bit of news. But the day before the Direct, a 4chan user was on the Google Play Store and noticed within one of the apps, there was a rogue image here, and it was of a purported Nintendo video app. That was then taken down. There was a kind of mock-up image shown, but it looks pretty official to me. I've got it in the show notes here. It's in the story, and we've got it on the screen here. But there is some pretty interesting stuff in there. It shows all the My Mario shorts that have been coming out recently, the animated Pikmin shorts. It had a behind the scenes included of the Mario movie, and then it also had in it a little thumbnail in the very bottom corner where you could clearly see that it was making out the Mario Galaxy movie, which there had been a leak about that, I think on some like shampoo or something. That was like some sort of Mario Galaxy movie leak that had happened a few months ago. But it is like the official logo for the Mario Galaxy movie, which leads a lot of people to believe that this is actually another Nintendo app that will be coming to the Play Store. Hopefully, because this was inside of another app's like image cache, this means that Nintendo's going to be kind of roping all their myriad apps into one, which is what I would really love to see. But do you guys have any thoughts on Nintendo Video app? Does this have any usefulness? Would you be excited about something like this?
Yeah, what am I watching on the Nintendo Video app? Am I going to watch like tips and tricks for games or a movie trailer?
Dinosaur Office, maybe? You can watch old 3DS episodes of
I was going to
Dinosaur
say,
Office.
there is an answer to that question because there was a Nintendo Video before.
Right.
And I was looking at this like earlier today. The Nintendo Video official website is still around.
Oh, really? Like from the 3DS era?
It's still, yeah.
Wow.
It's still there with Dinosaur Office, Batman and Piderman, some Kirby stuff on there. They love apps. They love flooding your phone with Nintendo apps. I can. It's from 4chan. We're like several layers deep into just several layers of bullshit deep here. But I could totally see this happening. They do have like a catalog of like video content that they may want to release. They have shown, as we will discuss later, that they seem to no longer be ashamed of some of the darker elements of their past.
Oh, okay. If I could have an app just to watch 1993 Mario Brothers movie, then I am happy. Okay, like I said, bring back grungy 90s Nintendo.
I don't know if they'll ever. I don't know if they'll ever push that to the fore ever again.
They're bringing back the Virtual Boy. I mean, they could bring back that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. I could see this happening. And if they did, that would be cool because they had that stuff on the DS, and it would be nice for that to have a home in present Nintendo world.
I guess I could see them putting out the directs and all their trailers on there,
exactly,
not having to rely on YouTube taking their revenue.
Yeah, I think what you got to do is you got to merge Nintendo Today, Nintendo Music, and whatever this is into one big thing. But I do think that them having a place where they host all their own videos makes a ton of sense. I don't think that they want, the Mario Brothers movie on Peacock, right? I think that they want that on their own platform that they can control. Obviously, we've got the Zelda movie coming out. We've got Mario Galaxy movie. There's this rumored Donkey Kong movie as well. Plus, what was it? Nintendo Stars. It used to be Warp Star that produced all the Kirby stuff. That is now rolled into Nintendo Pictures as well. So Nintendo is going all in on cross-media production. So I would not be surprised, regardless, to see this come out. Whether or not this exact leak is real, we'll have to see. And obviously, it was not a big part of the Direct at all, but keep your eye on this space. I wanted to talk about it on the podcast because I could really see this happening, and I want to at least be like, I talked about this back in September 2025. So
Nintendo's like app UI design is gives me a headache. I don't know the idea of merging like all of their media apps into one is kind of nightmarish. But it would be nice to have less Nintendo apps on my phone.
Yeah.
But
I got a folder for it.
Yeah. The thought of having Today, music, and video all in one thing, and what they would do with the design for that is that's going to give me nightmares.
We'll see. Just bring back snail mail. Bring back sending me. I don't know why I'm so nostalgic for the '90s right now, but send me VHS tapes to my address. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's what I want.
That's how I'm going to get my news.
The Banjo-Kazooie VHS when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I've got I collect those promo tapes. That's definitely one that I work on. But all right, well, I think that's going to do it for the news section. We're going to move on here then to our main topic, which is all about our reactions to the Nintendo Direct, and we will be talking all about that right after this break. And we are back from the break to talk all about the 9/12 or 12/9 for the Europeans here in the chat, Nintendo Direct for this September. This was an hour-long motherfucker. This was a big, chunky, long General Direct. I think it's the longest console reveal Direct that Nintendo has ever done. As we kind of saw, it really was 2 Directs in one. It seemed like they had kind of a Mario 40th anniversary section at the beginning, which they clearly were like, this is the Mario 40th section. Now we're moving on to regular Direct stuff, right? So it definitely was 2 Directs mashed up into one. I think it's probably better for it. I think if either of those were released by themselves, I think people would have been even more underwhelmed than they already were. But as we discussed at the top of the show, this has been a controversial Direct, as almost all of them are. I do kind of want to get just y'all's overall thoughts now that we've sat with the Direct for about a week. Or not fully a week, but at least a few days. What are you guys feeling? What's the temperature in the room? We'll go through our letter grades at the end, but how are you feeling? How well are you fed at the moment? Let's start with you, XanaGear.
Yeah, I don't know if it was worth an hour of my time. I don't know if there was an hour worth of stuff in it. There was one thing that made me go, yes, and that probably shouldn't have even made me do that. So.
I think I know what you're talking about. It might have something to do with this. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
not that.
Okay. And subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube so you know what I'm talking about. But okay, that's good to know. Good to know. I feel also like I've simmered on it a little bit since it came out. I'm not quite as excited, but I still think there's a lot here to chew on. What about you, AV? What are your kind of overall thoughts on the Direct in this week of Nintendo announcements?
I was pretty entertained for the whole thing. I think there was some pretty high highs. I think I probably like some things more than a lot of people do. There was a couple of high points that basically made the whole thing for me. We'll get to talking about that. More kind of budget looking non-first party stuff than I was expecting. Some of which looks good, some I was less enthused about. Broadly, I thought it was very good. I think I came away pretty positive on this one with a couple of absolute slam dunks in it.
Well, we'll kind of go through most of the Direct here bit by bit, and kind of maybe at the end we'll reassess and see if we still feel the same way after going through in a little bit more detail. But the show here opened up with basically, like I said, the Mario Brothers 40th anniversary section of the Direct came out swinging with Miyamoto here. In some new logo, they kind of revealed what it looks like. Not the greatest logo, to be honest.
People are hating on that logo too much. I think it's fine.
You think it's fine?
That's
you
my hot take.
You like gold squares? That's.
I just think it looks fine. It gets the point. It gets the point across.
Absolutely. Let's not.
If people are getting
angry,
if people are getting angry about a logo, they probably need to have a word with themselves.
Oh, okay. You're discussing most of the internet here.
Yeah, sure.
We got a lot of terrible people.
I'll take them on.
Yeah, okay.
What's the worst that can happen?
But yeah, it was mostly the show opened really weird. It opened with a lot of stuff about the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto. A lot of Japan focused stuff at the top. I thought was kind of strange, but it seems like they've got early art and stuff that's going to be at the Nintendo Museum. That's really exciting. It makes me want to go back to Kyoto. Also, apparently the Kyoto Marathon is sponsored by Nintendo, so nobody in the States cares about that. But the most important thing that happened right off the bat was that they announced that the new movie, the Mario Galaxy movie, is going to be coming April 2026. Now, I'm not going to show any footage of this because everybody's accounts are getting demonetized due to the trailer that they are, like, I guess the teaser that they released here at the beginning. But, it's not a ton to discuss here. We got the title and we know that all of the cast from the first movie is
Chris
returning.
Pratt is back.
Chris Pratt is back, looking noticeably older in the photo of him that they used this go around. He did not say he was as cool. I guess... I'm going to keep that to myself. But anyway, Chris Meledandri-san himself from Illumination came back out. We're big fans of Meledandri-san here on the podcast. So it was nice to see him return. You guys have any thoughts on the upcoming movie? Anything that they might do with it? Are you surprised they're skipping Mario World and going straight to Galaxy?
I actually am... now that you say that, yeah, I'm surprised they're skipping Super Mario World movie. That seems like a slam dunk. But
yeah,
Galaxy, I don't know. Galaxy probably tested better, but I think I like the name Galaxy. I'm excited for the movie.
Yeah, I'm a big Galaxy fan myself, so I was pretty pumped. What about you, Avi?
I think much like the first one, I will see it and I will not like it, and the world will continue to turn.
Yeah.
I have seen the original. I've seen the original. I've seen the first movie probably more times now than you should.
With children, I would imagine.
Yeah. They
I've
really
seen it
like
one time with no kids.
Yeah, same.
That's precisely the correct amount of times to see it. I can confirm that the highs do get higher in that film, but the lows get way, way, way lower.
Not a Take On Me fan, I guess.
I like Take On Me as much as the next guy, but not here. Those needle drops. Like the score, like in the actual original score, in the film it's great.
And they've got the same guy coming back for the next
and they
movie.
shouted out the composer, so that's good. That's a positive.
The composer, have you guys seen the composer, by the way? For I think his name's, what is his name? Brian Kelly or something like that. But he's got like two first names for his first and last name. But he's like jacked. He's like a big muscle guy.
No way.
I don't know if you guys know. He's like he's just like a very like handsome. He looks like a porno actor. Like I don't know what's going on there.
I hate it when there's like creative, like talented, artistic people who are also like just look sick.
Yeah, that's not.
It's very upsetting. It's not fair. That's not the way it should work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you can't have both. You have to pick a lane. The one thing that I did take away from this little section on the movie was you mentioned Chris Meledandri. The way he sits, like he's trying to get away from the camera. It's very odd. He's constantly leaning away.
Sit like that.
Yeah. He's a weird little guy. But we'll move on here because we're on our first item here and we could go on forever about this, but probably the biggest reveal of the entire presentation, Super Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 are being released for the Switch and Switch 2 as a 2-pack. Physically, for the Switch 1, it'll come with a free Switch 2 upgrade, and they are also being released separately digitally as well. So those are going to be releasing for $40 a pop. This is where a lot of the controversy begins. Those are the digital prices, and then together they are $70, making the second ever Switch 1 game to release at $70 after Tears of the Kingdom, obviously. I think it's great that these games are coming out. I am not a big poo-pooer of this. I know a lot of people are very upset that they're kind of re-releasing Galaxy 1. A lot of people wish that this was $20 DLC for Mario All-Stars. That's a whole can of worms that we could go into about what Nintendo did with 3D All-Stars. But I am very excited, at the very least, to play Galaxy 2 again. Galaxy 2 is my favorite 3D Mario game. So I will be getting this when it comes out, and I'm very excited for anybody that's never played the Galaxy games to play both of these. But I'd love to get y'all's thoughts, pricing or otherwise, on this release here.
This is the thing that made me yell, yeah, during the Direct, because I was so excited for playing Galaxy 2 again. I've been waiting. I'm like, every month that goes by, I'm like, I could emulate Galaxy 2 and play it again because I haven't played it in like 10 years.
Right.
And I just love Galaxy 2 so much. And I'm just looking for an excuse to replay it. So I am so excited to replay Galaxy 2. And I'm happy. I know everyone's mad about the pricing. I'm happy that I don't have to buy Galaxy 1 again.
Yeah.
I don't care to spend $40 on Galaxy 2. That
on like the
seems
couple
a
new
reasonable
pages
price.
of Rosalina's book or whatever. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll look those up on YouTube, I guess. I don't really.
Which is not in the physical book, by the way. I love how they pointed that out. This is not in the physical book. We could not spare the expense.
Absolutely.
Couldn't possibly do that.
What do you think about this release, AB?
Galaxy and Galaxy 2 are incredible. I love them. I have also not played Galaxy 2 since it first released. I've got Galaxy 1 as part of the All Stars collection, so I'll probably just get Galaxy 2 digitally. And it's great to have these in like their remastered form. There's like new like textures and stuff, which will make it sort of like the best it's ever looked. Pricing, I just find any sort of like debate about pricing like pretty tiresome. Games are expensive. They're never going to be like they're never going to be as cheap as people want them to be. It's like, I wish it was this much. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Like, it would be lovely if everything was cheaper. That would be great. But it's not. And no company, no like global multi-million-dollar company is going to like charge like less than they think they can get away with. So yeah, I think it's kind of like shouting at a cloud. Really.
No, I agree. I'm getting real tired of the pricing debate. I mean, that's not to say that it isn't outrageous. I think, especially when it comes to the amiibo, like I think there's 2 amiibo coming for this game. They are it's like Mario on a boost star, or whatever those things are called, and Rosalina sitting at her desk. Those are both $40 amiibos, which is just so much for those.
I did not know that.
Yeah, those are both $40. The Kirby ones are $50 that are coming out. So it's like, and it's crazy to me that Nintendo is like making more physical stuff now than ever. Now that like tariffs are a thing, and those are the things that actually get tariffed. It really feels like Nintendo, and I probably should have saved this for the end, but I think with the whole pricing controversy, it's really clear that Nintendo is doing everything they can to not raise the price of the Switch 2 right now, and that means putting that increase on software, on every other piece of like manufactured good that they create. So that's a bummer to see, but let's go ahead and put that pricing stuff behind us. We did get word since then that not only is Galaxy 1 and 2 currently leading the charts in Amazon right now, so clearly the price doesn't matter on the physical edition there, but it will be getting Switch 2 editions, like we said, that are being remastered and will apparently work with mouse controls, both the games. So
wow,
that's pretty cool, especially for Mario Galaxy 2. It'll be nice to see how that actually works. Is that just a player 2 thing, or will you be able to, swipe on the table when you're playing as Yoshi and still be able to hit the buttons? That could be kind of cool. We'll have to see how that works. But anyway, we're going to move on to the next Nintendo Mario announcement from this section, and that is that we are getting a brand new Mario Tennis game from Camelot. RIP, anybody who was hoping that Camelot would be going back to any of the other franchises that they've worked on. We got some music recently for that series on Nintendo Music, but no, they are making another Mario Tennis game, and I gotta say, this looks fantastic. I'm a big fan of Mario Tennis. I am okay that this is the game that Camelot is making. It looks different enough from Aces, which I also thought was good, but kind of wore out its welcome a little bit. My only hope here is that it's a little bit more fully featured when it comes out. I was pretty tired of the Mario sports titles coming out bare bones and getting free updates over the course of their lifetimes. But you guys have any thoughts on this and some of the modes that they showed off?
I think they heard you. This game looks absolutely stuffed of different modes. I've never really, not like a massive tennis game guy, not really a Mario Sports like fan, but this is the most interested I've been in a Mario Sports game like in forever. It looks like there's a like a roguelike mode in it. They had like this tower. Like tower challenge mode that reminded me of Side Order. And yeah, there just seems to be a lot of stuff they crammed into like this 2-minute trailer. And then this ridiculous like baby mode at the end.
There is like an adventure mode, like a single
adventure mode where you play as baby Waluigi, which is just like the most cursed thing I think I've ever seen in a trailer. I thought this looked pretty good. This is like pretty much as good as a Mario Sports game has looked in years.
Yeah, I haven't played a Mario Tennis game since got GameCube, I guess. And I think the campaign adventure mode looks really good. I'm excited to play it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like into these types of games lately, playing with my partner. We played like 200 hours of Mario Kart this year. So I could definitely see playing this quite a bit. And I don't care if it is super deep. That's not what I want out of a Mario sports game. I just want to have fun playing it with my partner.
Totally.
For like 20 hours. That would be enough for me.
Yeah, I think this looks great. It looks like they brought a lot of the good stuff from Aces, like the kind of motion controlled aiming whenever you kind of do a slam shot and stuff like that. So I really like seeing that. Obviously the kind of main gimmick of that game was kind of the fighting game style meter that seems to be gone, but I'm into it. I'm excited for this. I'll be picking this up. I love Mario sports games, or at least I love Mario tennis games. So I'm a big tennis head. That's where you and I differ, AB. But we'll move on to Super Mario Brothers Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition Plus Meetup in Bella Park. Again, Nintendo, stop doing this. I hate that. What a horrible thing. I think the worst thing I hate about these Plus games is that all the box art now has this horrible split down the middle where you have both things. I hate seeing it. Whatever. I'm very excited to get this Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this game, even though it seems like most of the content that's being added is multiplayer focused. It's probably good for you, XanaGear, to play with your partner, but
I think that that might be a misconception because they specifically held off at the end of the trailer saying all the single player stuff is going to be shown later.
Oh, okay.
So I genuinely think that there's a bunch of single player stuff coming in this package, but they just focused on showing them.
That's interesting.
I mean, a bit of a weird decision.
I think the fact that the title has the name of the park in it is throwing me a little bit, but I really hope you're right that there is a good amount of single player edition. They did show the Koopalings are back, for instance, in the main game. So that'll be great. And this was just such a gorgeous game. I think playing this in 4K is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to do that. But you have any thoughts on this, AV?
Very excited about this. Love Mario Wonder. Was it Mirabelle Park? I can't remember.
Bellabelle Park.
Yeah, of course it is.
That famous park that everyone knows.
Yeah. It looked like Mario Party, but good. It will be nice. Mario Wonder's really good feeling game to play. So an excuse to do that in some fun, silly, multiplayer context will be good. And yeah, they definitely Koizumi pointedly said at the end, there is more content to show that we'll do at a later date. And I think he's specifically referring to the Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition side of it. So yeah, I think there's going to be more single player stuff, which will be great. They said when the game was released that they had only 10% or something of the ideas they had for Wonder Flowers got into the game. So they've just got tons and tons of stuff that they can bring into this.
That's a great point.
Yeah, very excited about this. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. I'd love to see more Wonder stuff. I think that'd be really great. And I've been looking for an excuse to replay this game so I can hold off until next year. This is releasing in the spring. Also, Mario Tennis is releasing in February. Forgot to say that. Mario Galaxy is coming out next month. We got shown a few little physical items. We brought it up. They're making a physical version of Rosalina's book. There's also a Furby-esque talking flower sort of thing that
not an interactive toy.
Yeah, I don't really know why they're doing that. Apparently it'll talk without you asking it to talk, which I don't.
Everyone loves that.
Yeah,
loves
they're really trying to make
talk randomly.
Yeah, they're really trying to make talking flower happen, and I just don't care. It looks like a fleshlight. I'm not into it.
He's the umpire in Mario Tennis Fever as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's just too much. But the next thing that they showed was a new Yoshi game. This is another thing that we predicted in our last episode that came true. We wanted a 3D game, but it seems like this is going to be another 2D baby game. I hope I'm wrong there because I think the aesthetics are actually really, really pretty in this. I love the low frame rate. I love how it looks kind of hand animated. So this could be a really fun game if they brought it kind of back to that Yoshi's Island style of gameplay, because that's a pretty hard platformer. And I think one of the greatest 2D platformers of all time, you could say. So the fact that Yoshi has kind of become a game franchise for babies is a bit of a shame. I'd like to see. Sorry, that's a really weird sound. I'd like to see this get back to its roots a little bit, but I find it a little unlikely. This is probably going to be another good field joint, but Nintendo doesn't really like to talk about the developers. You guys have any thoughts on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book?
I thought it was going to be called Yoshi's Story, and it wasn't.
Right.
That made me sad, even though Yoshi's Story isn't a very good game.
Yeah. This does give me Yoshi's Story vibes more than
Yeah.
any other game.
Yeah, I think it could be a very good puzzle game if they really go crazy with the mechanics, but it's I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but I prove me wrong.
I'd love to be surprised. Yeah.
You saying Yoshi's Island is one of the best 2D platformers. You are on the right side of history.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just that was it's like a really formative game for me. So it's been kind of heartbreaking to see the way that the Yoshi series has gone since then. I don't expect this game to like be any different, but like that's kind of the way it has to be. They're like Nintendo make games for like the broadest possible audience. They've got their games that are like for like the more hardcore platform. The hardcore is obviously like
gamers, just gamers instead of babies. Yeah.
They have their more like serious platformers like Mario and Donkey Kong, and this is these are like the entry level stuff. This is going to be sort of pitched at the same level as Princess Peach Showtime.
I would think so.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe it is like a Super Meat Boy adjacent.
I wouldn't go that far.
Kaizo masterpiece. We'll see.
Wow, Kaizo Yoshi game. That's what we've been waiting. That's the Birdo game that comes out. That'll be the Kaizo Yoshi game. Nintendo, listen to me. I want a Birdo game. I've been saying that forever. Anyway, we moved out of the Mario Direct here and moved into the General Direct. Koizumi was very much like, that does it. We're moving on. So the first thing that was revealed here was a game called Stormlancers. I'm not super familiar with this, but it looks to be a co-op roguelike. That was a shadow drop. So that is out now for the first Nintendo Switch. That was available later in the day.
I've got some fascinating information on that one.
Yeah.
That you might not expect. So this is the first game by a studio called Probably Monsters. Does that name ring a bell to either of you?
It sounded familiar. What is it?
Because this is a studio set up by the former president and CEO of Bungie, Harold Ryan.
Interesting.
So he set this company up. He left Bungie. He set this company up in like 2019, and it was like it was called a developer of developers, and they had two studios under them, and one of those studios was Firewalk, and Firewalk, who went on to develop a game called Concord,
right.
Which you may have heard of. So this is the first game from this all the news stories about this company are from like GameIndustry.biz and how they've raised this insane amount of money. So it's just an interesting point that this like sort of indie looking roguelike is actually the product of this this has like AAA like roots to it.
We'll see. It seems like it's kind of coming and going, so hopefully it does a little bit better than Concord. But
this will get taken off the store in a couple days.
Yeah.
Well, is it still available?
I think it's still available. It's still available.
Then it has been more successful than Concord.
The next game that they showed was a game called Dinkum, mate. It's just Dinkum, but it is a game about an Aussie walkabout. It seems this is a game where you play in the Australian outback, and it looks to be sort of like an Animal Crossing style cooperative game. Looks pretty charming. There was a bunch of life sims that they showed off here in the Direct. This was one of them. Dinkum's kind of got a bit of the Minecraft aesthetic, but it seems to be a lot more social than Minecraft and a lot more about city building and exploration and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. This is from Crafton as well, who is, or that was the publisher anyway, who's in some hot water recently with Subnautica and that whole franchise. But if you guys don't have anything to say on that, I'm going to move on then to the next game, which I'm actually really excited about, which is Popucum. Terrible title. I don't understand how I'm supposed to pronounce that without having it sound really dirty. But this is like an over-the-shoulder, like co-op. It's a multiplayer only, like match 3 third-person shooter game. And I'm a big match 3 fan.
You nailed it.
Yeah. And so I think that is pretty exciting for me. It's a cool mashup of genres and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for this. Did you guys have any thoughts on this? Did this stand out to you at all?
A friend of mine recommended this to me 2 weeks ago after he played through it on Steam. And he
so it's out already on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He really liked it. Seems fun. It's it's co-op only, co-op focused type of game. So I'll probably play through it.
Yeah, for sure. I know Chris McKeever, who was on the show last week, he's a big social gaming guy. So this might be one that we play through as well. We were playing Split Fiction together recently, although we never finished that. That's reminding me that I got to finish that with him. But next announcement here was a game that's probably my most anticipated game from this entire direct, and that's Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. This was such a charming trailer. I love everything about this. I didn't play a ton of Tomodachi Life back in the day. I think I played it like more recently. I think I played it like on like a modded 3DS after they shut down the console, right? So, but I was a big fan of Miitomo, the mobile app that Nintendo had. That was another Mii-based, play with your friends and your friends' Miis and stuff like that. And I loved that. And so I think this will be great for the social media age. I'm very excited to see, what people's islands and what the relationships between all their characters are. Are you guys excited for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream?
I've never played Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. I didn't even, I don't think I'd even heard of it until it came out on Nintendo Music. I was like, what the hell is this? And yeah, I think this looks deranged and pretty great. I love how the character creator, you could change the voice.
You could do that in Miitomo as well.
Oh yeah. Cool. I will be checking this out. So with the 3DS, did you ever play it on 3DS? Did it have like sort of social integration with Street Pass? Could you I
think so.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'd be interested to see how and if they have any sort of social elements, how that's changed since the original game. But yeah, I thought this was a very charming trailer. I swear that the opening shot they have on the beach, I think there was a Mii playing a guitar, and to me it looked like it was supposed to be Satoru Iwata. I'm choosing to believe that is the case, and that was just and that was a lovely, respectful touch. I thought this was very funny, and I love the way that was it Koizumi is still presenting at this point?
I think so. Yeah.
And at the end of the trailer, they cut back to him, but he was off screen and he walked in. He walked onto the screen like a robot and didn't even reference what was going on. So this is just very, very silly, very funny way to present a game. I thought it was great.
Yeah, a bunch of Koizumis fell out of a tree, which was nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
My friend messaged me about this game. She loves the original and specifically messaged me to ask me which capture card to buy because she wants to become a Tomodachi Life streamer.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. That this game has such a hardcore fan base. And it's so interesting that they're bringing it back. It doesn't seem like something that they would make a sequel to, and it's so awesome that someone at Nintendo is really passionate about this weird social game.
Everyone keeps saying that Nintendo aren't weird anymore. They're not silly. They're not playful. And in the last year, they've done Emio. They're doing Tomodachi Life.
The weirdest thing about Emio is that when I was in Tokyo last year, in the Nintendo store in Tokyo, there's all this Emio merch, which I thought was so weird. You could get a t-shirt of a dude stealing a child. You
can get serial killer key rings.
Really strange. That's the weirdest thing Nintendo's done in the past year. But no, I agree. I'm very excited for this. I'm definitely going to be streaming this game. I think this would be a ton of fun. I hope there's good online integration here. It feels like this could take kind of the place of that Animal Crossing style game and get some more casual people in. But let's be real. I think it's going to be mostly Nintendo faithfuls that are playing this. But either way, I'm a huge fan of Miis in general. So anytime they can bring Miis into a game and a whole game around Miis, I love to see. But we'll move on here. The next game that they showed, this was in the games that are coming to both Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch, started with Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So that's coming out. That I think we knew that was going to happen. But this seems to be a little bit more of the new trend of these collections where it's kind of the Atari 50-esque thing where they have developer interviews and it's a little bit more of a celebration rather than just you can play the games again. I like that that's the trend with some of these games going forward.
It's the same team doing all of them.
It's Digital Eclipse, is that it?
Yeah.
So they're the best.
They're doing a great job.
Yeah, I love them. They've been doing amazing work. I was playing the Llamasoft one that they did recently, and that's the Jeff Minter story. They just do amazing work. So I want to get this just to support that, because I think they do wonderful stuff, and I'm a big fan of video game history. After that, they showed off Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's coming out January 26th. And that's looking really good, gang. I mean, they nailed it. I think that the other than like dithering in the hair, this game looks really, really, really clean, and I'm excited about it. We talked about this a little bit, obviously, in the news section, but did you guys have any additional thoughts on this while we're here in the main topic?
No, I recommend playing it. I think it's going to be a good place to play it.
Awesome. Next up, we had Linked Banner of the Spark. This was a game that was shown a little bit ago that I thought actually looked pretty cool. It reminded me quite a bit of Crosscode, a game that I enjoyed quite a bit. This was another shadow drop. This is the second shadow drop of the day. This is out now. I haven't heard much about this in terms of impressions or anything like that, but do you think it looks pretty good? Any thoughts on this?
I thought it looked like what you would get if you fed like a load of popular genres into a game generator.
Yeah.
And this kind of
it does have some city builder Animal Crossing elements in it too, doesn't it? Yeah.
It looked like a kind of a hot mess of different styles.
We'll have to see.
Colorful.
Yeah.
I just feel like it got immediately buried
by
the next trailer.
Let's roll right into that, because we had the new
cruel.
Super Giant Games trailer for Hades 2. The official 1.0 release has a release date that's September 25th, so that's only about 10 days away from when we are recording. This started with an absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous animated sequence with just, a very strong, beautiful woman flexing her back muscles and fighting with demons. This looked fantastic. I work in the 2D animation industry, so the whole time I was watching this, my jaw was just on the floor, thinking about how hard this must have been to composite and animate and edit. But the game is looking great. Obviously, this game has been out in early access for a long time at this point, and this is going to be a console exclusive, timed console exclusive on the Switch and Steam when it comes out on September 26th. Either of you, September 25th. Have either of you been playing the early access for this game? You guys Hades fans? What about you, XanaGear?
Yeah, I bought it the day it came out, and I did one run like the day after it came out. I finished one run, and then I said, okay, I'm going to put it down until 1.0.
Hell yeah.
I'm really, really excited about it. I think that game is incredible.
Yeah.
The game is doing, when I played it in early access, it was doing a lot of the same stuff the first game did, which I think as a roguelike, I don't like it as much as some other roguelikes. Like my favorite roguelike, Spelunky.
Same.
Or Noida. Mechanically, it's not
Noida.
like 100% my thing, but I think the storytelling and the way they tell the story across your first 10 completed runs in the first game is such a strong hook to get you to engage with those mechanics that I think it works simply because of the way they tell the story and the writing, the music, everything's
visual
incredible.
presentation. I love all like the character art and everything. Like everybody is just so hot in this game, and I think like it's just such a great presentation overall. I like the game more in theory than I like it itself, like as you said. But I'm excited. I have not played Hades 2 at all yet, so I'll probably pick this up when it comes out.
There's a boss in here that has a song that changes every time you fight it, and I think that is so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Did you have anything you wanted to add, AB?
This is just like the hypest trailer that I've seen since like the Tears of the Kingdom one. I thought this is fantastic. I only played Hades for the first time last year, and that's like That's a really good video game. That and it completely like changed my like relationship to like difficulty and failure in video games. Like completely like reshaped the way that I approach things and the way I react to like hardship in gaming now. It's like it's an incredible game.
As a Binding of Isaac fan, to me, this is the roguelike for people that do not play roguelikes. And I think that's why it did really, really well. I think this was a lot of people's introduction to the genre, and it's good to see that it's still got a lot going for it. Next up was a little bit of a Kirby update. We got shown a couple new amiibos that are swappable, which is interesting. But again, they are $50 each, by the way. But you can take them out. You can put them onto each other's like machines, and there are more coming as well. So if you want to get all the Kirby Air Riders things, you're maybe not going to have to spend as much as, I don't know, how many are they going to make? I can't imagine these are going to be too successful. But Sakurai did say that he'll be doing another direct as well for Kirby Air Riders.
I cannot believe there's a second Air Riders direct.
I can. Are you kidding me?
So long.
I love it.
He's going to go for an hour this time.
Give Sakurai anything he wants.
The first direct sold me on that game, but I cannot believe they're doing a full other direct for this one game. He's unhinged. They don't have any restrictions on him. And it's
he only really talked about two things in the first direct.
Yeah, it was like two most.
So much, yeah.
I hope there's a lot more to be seen about that. But next we got a release date finally for Age of Imprisonment. And I gotta say, this game's looking pretty fucking good. Not a big Muso guy. This is the first of 3 Muso games that were shown in this direct. So a little bit of overload there for the genre for me. But this is coming out November 6th. So it seems like November is going to be both Age of Imprisonment and Kirby Air Riders. This is looking pretty great. I might play this one. I didn't play the last one. The fact that it was not canon made it less playable to me. Like it made me.
Is it not
really
canon?
care.
I didn't know that.
The previous one, the last like Breath of the Wild adjacent one, but this one is, and they keep saying this is the canon story. This is real. This really happened. So.
I did play the Breath of the Wild one because I was interested in the lore and stuff. So I didn't know that it wasn't canon. I guess it's not because they got like a little toy guardian.
Well, it's kind of, there's like a
guardian.
time travel thing where it like kind of erases everything that happened. So I think in this one they're like, this is shit that actually happened. So, and I like any game where like Link is kind of sidelined. Honestly, I think we have so many Zelda games that star Link that a game where you're primarily playing as like Zelda and her kind of cohort of people. I think it's pretty exciting.
I would take playing a Brave Korok over Link any day. They really they hype that guy up.
That's true.
Yeah, I think Nintendo might have tricked me into buying this.
Yeah.
I played the demo maybe of the Breath of the Wild one, whatever that's called.
Yeah, nobody remembers the name.
No,
I just bought it. Do not remember the name.
Yeah, I played it for like the 20 minutes that it took for it to like melt my eyes and my Switch. It was like it's just like it's just a total mess. Not a huge fan of Muso games, but this sort of thing, it just trails well. You can sell this game with a 2-minute trailer pretty easily. One thing did look cool. I thought the idea of using like Zonai devices in like a Muso game, that's a no-brainer. That will be awesome. It'd be interesting to see, like, will you be able to will you have as much flexibility in like building those things as you did in Tears of the Kingdom? To like, are you going to be able to build your own like death machines? It does look good. I wait for, I have to wait for reviews, but I think they might have tricked me into getting this.
We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Yeah, like you said, I'm going to wait for reviews. They did show off game share for this. I cannot imagine that is going to be playable over game share.
No one should do that.
On the Switch 2, the last one on split screen is now playable. It runs at 30 FPS consistently, which is fine. Because on the Switch, it dipped to like 10. I hope that game share runs well on this. That will be the thing. That'll be if that doesn't run at 30, I will not buy that.
I mean, it'll probably run at 30. The problem with game share is that it's like the bit rate is really low. You know what I mean? And this is not like you're sharing the same screen. This is like you're going off on your own, doing your own thing.
Yeah.
So I will be very surprised if this game is playable at all. Game share has not been a knock out of the park for me so far. It has not been a super great feature of the Switch, but excuse me. Hopefully that changes, but we're going to move on here. The next one was a really interesting presentation, and this was one of the 7 games that was rumored before this came out. This is Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. This is coming out February 2026, and this has a really interesting art style that I think at first I was a little turned off by, but the more I look at it, the more I like it. It's kind of got a bit of a toyetic top-down approach to this, a little bit differently than how this game was already remade on the 3DS. But I think that the graphic style looks really clean and captures Akira Toriyama's art style really well. I'm not a big Dragon Quest guy. Are either of you Dragon Quest fans?
Yeah, I played, weirdly, the game I've played the most in the series is Dragon Quest X in Japanese, and I did not. It was before it was translated. There's a fan translation now. I played like 300 hours, and I like had to like buy Japanese like credits for the game to play because I love MMOs, so I played like
that's the online one, right?
Yeah, I played like hundreds of hours of that, and then I did play the 7 remake on 3DS, and that's like the one I've played the most besides the MMO. And this game is like really long. It's like over 100 hours long.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised they're remaking it again. But the story, the game is told in like this bite-sized story format where you're going from island to island, and each island has like its own narrative that begins and ends. So that's why it's so long. And I think the game is incredible. So I'm excited that they're remaking it, even though I probably won't play it just because it's so long.
Yeah, I think it's mostly working for me, but I don't know that this is going to bring me in. There were some other people talking about how this would actually be a really great art style for a Chrono Trigger remake, especially with the Akira Toriyama. I prefer that to an HD 2D version of Chrono Trigger personally. But either way, it looks good, even if the main character kind of looks a little bit like Matt Damon. Anyway, we can move on. The next little bit of news that we got was, I think, about the Nintendo Today app, but I don't really care about that. And then after that, this was the biggest pop-off moment of the Direct for me. This was that we are getting a new addition to the expansion pack, and that is Virtual Boy, baby. I'm wearing my Virtual Boy shirt.
Show that off
right now. I got that at the Nintendo Museum in Kyoto. But Virtual Boy is coming to Nintendo Switch Online via the Nintendo Classics app with a catch. It seems that these games will only be playable if you have the peripheral, either the full Virtual Boy remade thing that they're putting out for $100 or the $25 Labo style cardboard version that you could slide your Switch 1 or Switch 2 into.
Them showing you fully functional, playable vision of the game and then saying you cannot play this on a TV is the funniest like fuck you they could ever do. It's so mean.
I really hope they change on that, because these games play perfectly fine flat, you know.
They play perfectly fine. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's a very I think a lot of people are hating on this announcement, understandably, because it's a failure of a console. But I think they're looking at it wrong, because it being a failure of a console has made it more famous than it ever was when it was a failure.
Right.
More people know about the Virtual Boy than anything. Anyone who's sitting there watching a Direct, anyone who watches every Direct knows what the Virtual Boy is because of its legacy of being a big failure. And I think selling $100 thing to put on your shelf is actually really smart. They're going to sell a lot of them.
I'm going to get one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to buy a Virtual Boy for a long time, but I think this is like a better option, you know, because it's like, you've got it there for your shelf. It looks exactly like the old console. It plays exactly. You got to bend your ass over on the table to like look into it. They still haven't fixed that horrible design. But it's like, if you want to buy a new Virtual Boy, not only are they expensive to find used online, but they break incredibly easily, and all the games are super expensive. So this is just a better way to do it overall. If you want to play the games flat, mod your 3DS. There's a great emulator for the 3DS that does the 3D with the lenticular display on the 3DS. So that's probably the best way to play the games flat. I do hope that eventually they do add in the ability to play them flat on the Switch, because there's some really great bangers. I mean, Jack Bros is amazing. A Virtual Boy Wario Land. There's a bunch of great games. I even like the Tetris that's on there as well. And that's only just to name a few. But you have any thoughts on this, AV?
I am the exact kind of sucker that this appeals to. I have pre-ordered my stupid chunk of Virtual Boy shaped plastic.
Let's fucking go.
As soon as Nintendo would allow me to. When this like popped up in the direct, I like absolutely howled with laughter.
Yeah.
Like I just thought this is just the funniest.
I screamed.
Like, like this is just perfect. This is just like what our like kind of dork has been asking for like for years. This is great that they're actually like making these games playable for the first time in like 30 years. And yeah, like some of these games, they are good. I did an episode of my show on the like 30th anniversary of the Virtual Boy because it's always been. It never came to Europe, and like, released when I was a kid, and like it was just this like fascinating exotic thing that I could never get my hands on. So it's always been like that. It's still been like that, like all these years. And now to actually be able to play these games, that is wonderful. I'm very excited. I played a few, like I've emulated a few, and that like not in like the best sort of like emulation setup, but like Mario Clash, Wario Land, like Telero Boxer.
Telero Boxer is cool. Yeah.
There are some good games that people's like perception of the Virtual Boy shouldn't like hamper that. I think this is just like the biggest pop in any direct I think I can remember.
R.I.P. Waterworld fans, you're sadly not getting that game in the collection, it seems.
Oh, that's like one of the worst games I've ever played.
Okay, perfect.
The music in that game is incredible.
Oh, a great sound chip on the Virtual Boy. A dedicated sound chip. But
anyway. Speaking of the music they had in this like announcement in the trailer was from Galactic Pinball. It's a song called Gunpei's Voyage. I really like that they are acknowledging Gunpei Yokoi.
That's the second reference to a passed away Nintendo executive this direct. I suppose.
I have my niche. Yeah. But I was thinking back to Ultra Hand being in Tears of the Kingdom, and now like this. I like that they're always acknowledging like their history and like him in particular.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I love Nintendo classics for the fact that it is a history, right? It's like it's great to have these games just to be able to have all the games. I think personally, I think NSO has more than paid for itself at this point. As far as the subscription services go, it's turned into quite a great subscription service, in my opinion.
You could have a Switch with just NSO and have more games than you could ever play like in your life. There's just so much on there. You'd never need to actually buy a Switch game.
As long as you hate modern games. But
as long as you hate modern games, yeah. As long as you hate yourself.
And yourself, yeah. You can get expansion back and just play Virtual Boy and it'll more than pay for itself. That's what we're saying.
Virtual Boy and Genesis.
You won't have eyes anymore.
Toe Jam and L2. Let's go.
You don't really need eyes, actually. But we'll go ahead and move on here. Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly is getting a remake. That was shown off next. I don't have a ton to say about this, but I know Fatal Frame has quite a bit of fans. It's been nice to see that franchise get a bit more love in the past few years. It had that Wii U game that I think eventually came to the Switch. It's nice to see that this is also coming. Are you guys Fatal Frame fans? No,
I don't even know what a Fatal Frame is.
All good.
I know less about this.
You take pics of ghosts, and
cool.
It's a fun little franchise. But we next had a little bit of a sizzle reel of sorts of games that are getting Switch 2 upgrades or Switch 2 editions. I got really excited here because I was like, yes, more first-party games that are getting Switch 2 upgrades. That was not the case. It was all third-party games that are getting updates. That included One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. That's another Muso game. Koei Tecmo keeps eating. Overcooked 2 is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Stardew Valley is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That includes split-screen multiplayer and mouse controls. I think that's kind of the highlight here. And then also Human Fall Flat is getting a Nintendo Switch 2 edition as well. Any of those stand out to you guys?
I'm playing Human Fall Flat tonight. with my friends.
Okay.
I know that.
Did that come out? Was that
on the Steam?
Oh, on Steam. Okay. All right. It looks like, Human Fall Flat is coming out spring 2026. I never actually played that game. I always got it confused with Gang Beasts. They look very similar.
Yeah, very similar games.
Yeah. But next up, we had Power Wash Simulator 2 is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. I have not really had a chance to play this franchise. I know it's very popular. It's one of those satisfying games. Kind of started back in the era of Mario Sunshine and has been going ever since. You guys excited for this? It seems like this would be a fun game to play with gyro controls, maybe.
Yeah, I played co-op with my partner, the first one, for like, I don't know, 10, 15 hours. It's a chill game. It's really has you're just pointing at things and drawing lines, and then you beat the level, and then you go to the next one.
Yeah, not much to it seems, but it's nice to see it coming to the Switch 2. I love to see more Switch 2 games in general. AV, are you a fan of this franchise at all?
I didn't really vibe with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't really for me, but
that's it's for me either. But I know a lot of people love this, so that's nice.
I wish everyone well. I'm very happy for people who are excited for this.
Yeah. As a non-Dark Souls fan and a non-Hollow Knight fan, I've learned to just be happy for other people. Coming up next was Suika Game sequel that is coming out called Suika Game Planet. This is coming out this winter. This actually looks fucking phenomenal. This is a great, expansion of the Suika Game idea, but it kind of makes it a circle, and now it's all going towards the center, like gravity well, I guess you could call it, of this. This looks like a ton of fun. There was a moment where we were all playing Suika Game, and maybe that'll come back with the sequel. I don't know if there's too much more to say about this, but looks really good. It's got game share as well. So it's
my
nice.
partner saw it and said, "Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this looks like
being
a ton of
able
fun.
to game share this from Switch 2 to Switch 1 is going to absolutely ruin my household. I was so sniffy about Suika Game when it released. I thought, this is just this like silly like viral game that everyone's playing just to like be in a conversation. No, it's really good.
It's good. It spawned a whole
really
genre. And like I feel like the Suika is now like very much a thing that exists. So
yeah, shout out to Gary from the Spelunky community who made Suika Spelunky with all Spelunky assets, which is cool. Pretty good.
I love that.
So I got a Suika Game for one of my daughters as like her first like Switch game, on her like Switch Lite, and she absolutely loves it. And yeah, it's the watermelon game to her. And I showed her the trailer to this, and yeah, she's very excited.
I think watermelon game is the Japanese translation of Suika Game.
Yeah. The idea that the four of us can play like together, like against each other. This is going to be. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I do hope that at some point Nintendo fixes game share to where it can work over the internet with Switch Ones. I think currently the only way that you can game share with the Switch One is in person. You have to use Game Chat to use game share over the internet, which is dumb, but that's for a different episode. Next up was Metroid Prime 4. Finally, we got a release date for this.
Finally.
Is coming out December 4th. But this game is looking fucking good, guys. I really am excited for this. But I will say this is another controversial presentation here. I think that, they showed off Viola, which seems to be the name of Samus's motorcycle. And Samus kind of, seems to bike through big, open, expansive areas to connect the different parts of the Vuros planet that I guess most of this game takes place on. A lot of people are saying that this looks pretty last gen. For those wondering, this is a Switch 1 game that is getting a Switch 2 edition. So let's, temper our expectations here. But I thought that the desert stuff looked fine and good. Honestly, the desert stuff reminded me of Sin and Punishment when you're kind of like biking through and you're shooting things out of the air. I was a big fan of those games by Treasure. So, and then it seems like you get off the bike and you immediately go into first person, very similar to how you go from third person ball to first person shooting. So I think that this game is looking phenomenal. I understand that people are a little hesitant, but I really truly think that once people get their hands on this game, a lot of those concerns are going to go out the window. I doubt the open desert biking sections are going to be a major part of the game, even though I do think they look pretty fun. Do you guys have any thoughts on this latest trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond?
Yeah, the structure of the game is remains to be seen. I think basing it on this trailer is kind of pointless just because we've seen so little. I mean, the desert could be literally like the Hyrule field of this game, and it could just be like 10% of the game, 5% of the game, or it could be 40% of the game, and and maybe it's horrible. But I bet, based on what we've seen, speculation, it just looks like a small part of the game. Like you're just going to be going from point A to point B, and then there's going to be some minor shooting or mechanic on the bike. It does make me question the game's structure a bit, because obviously I would prefer a more closed-in Metroid Prime 1 style planet to explore. I wonder how the mechanics open up other areas. Like you're just going to be biking back and forth between different levels, basically.
Sure.
I'm still excited for the game. Obviously, I'm very excited for the game.
Yeah,
Metroid Prime is amazing.
Yeah, I think it looks fabulous. What about you, AV?
Oh, yeah. I'm struggling to be excited about this game. I have like a horrible take on Metroid Prime that I would never unleash on my own show and sync that. So
you could do it on mine though.
I'll share it here and and try and torpedo this show. I played Metroid Prime Remastered last year or the year before, and I didn't really like it. I didn't really like. I felt like the combat felt kind of weightless. The fetch quest at the end, I rage quit the game when I realized what was going on with the back half of that game, and I was like asking people online, "Is this surely I can go to the end game now, right?" And like, no, you have to do this fetch quest. So I like rage finished it, and the final like the run to the final boss with this platforming like sequence where you're just getting bombarded by Metroids, like these bullet sponge enemies, just absolutely killed the game for me. It felt like the game felt good to play, good atmosphere, but yeah, beyond that I don't really like
beyond
scanning things. Beyond that. Good. Yeah, I meant that. I totally meant that. I don't really like scanning things as a gameplay mechanic or switching visors. But I think there will be a full direct for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
I think undoubtedly. Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that this is the thing, that this is like the main criticism of all the presentations of it so far. So like no one really knows like what the game is. Like what's
shown so little. I'm waiting for them to reveal something that changes people's expectation or something.
It feels like they've shown loads, but so little.
Yeah,
like we don't.
And every time they show stuff, I think people's excitement drops for this game a little bit. It's like I feel like Nintendo just doesn't know how to market Metroid whole cloth. You know what I mean? I just really think they don't know how to do it, and I think like that's why I think this is giving me like Donkey Kong Bonanza, where it was like, before that game had its like own dedicated direct, everybody was like, okay, I mean, yeah, it looks like you punch stuff. Like it seems kind of fun, I guess. But then like the direct came out and they were like, oh, I get it now. And now I'm really hyped. I really think that's going to happen like come around November, something like that, probably around Black Friday. So you can get all those pre-orders in for Black Friday, showing off, really what is going to make this game unique. That said, I don't know if it's going to turn you if you weren't a fan of Metroid Prime Remastered, AV. Like I think,
sure.
and I hope you've enjoyed your first and last time on this podcast.
It's been beautiful. For me. It was lovely to air that. Air that.
I'm sure that was a huge weight on your shoulders. You've been waiting to get off.
It's gone now, and I am free.
The monkey on your back is departed.
What a way to go out. I am happy to be converted. I love Dread. Metroid Dread was like a fantastic game. I thought they marketed that well. They had the benefit of announcing that only like 5 months before it came out,
right?
And then they did like loads of stuff on the website, like doing all these like lore drops. They don't have the luxury of that with Metroid Prime 4 because it's been in development for 100 years. So we're never going to be surprised by it. But yeah, I think they'll do a big direct. I'm hoping that that converts me because I want to like it. I like I'm like everyone else out there. I like shooting things in games. It's fun. So I'd like to do that here. So yeah,
that's why God made guns.
Totally.
Anyway, I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be great. We saw some amiibos there as well. Also very expensive. I think we're looking at a $40 amiibo for that one with the bike. So I don't know if I'll be picking that up, but the game is game voucher compatible. So this will be one of the last. This will probably be the last game released that is game voucher compatible, because they are doing away with the game vouchers next year. So if you're excited about this, it seems like Pokemon ZA and this can both be bought with game vouchers. You can save, I guess, about $20 doing that. You obviously then would have to pay for the $10 Switch 2 upgrade to play it on Switch 2 past that, but you'd still be saving $20 altogether if you bought the game separately. So that's something worth looking at, especially if you can get some eShop cards discounted. That is a pretty good way to do it. So a little bit of a PSA there. Next was another controversial announcement, and this was the final shadow drop of the Direct, and that was the DLC for Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is going to be on DK Island, which I think people were a little miffed that it's not just in the game, given that Odyssey kind of ended with the Mario 64 hub. So it seems like this was maybe pulled out of the game, but it also includes Emerald Rush, which is a sort of, rogue light, I suppose, collectathon sort of mode that you can play not only in DK Island, but right off the bat on, I think, 5 different layers. And then, as I saw online, I think you unlock more layers that you can play it on as well as you go. I have not played this yet. This did come out the day of. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to get it. I'd still need to 100% the game itself. I'm in the post game of DK Bonanza. But XanaGear, do you have any thoughts on this? Did you pick this up?
I didn't pick it up, mostly because of Silk Song.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have bought it the minute it came out if I wasn't speedrunning Silk Song.
Sure.
But I think not buying it when it came out really hurt the chances of me ever buying it, because looking at it after the hype of me seeing the trailer, knowing it's $20, knowing there's no level to run around and collect bananas in when there's a new level that you could have put bananas in.
Right.
I actually am into the idea of Emerald Rush. But the fact that it's $20 for a level that really does feel like it should have been in the base game. Obviously I have no real complaints about Bonanza, but the fact that we didn't get DK Island at the end was a bit of a surprise.
Right.
It wasn't even a letdown because there was so much stuff to do in the post game, but it was a surprise that it wasn't in there. And the fact that they just had it sitting on a hard drive is a bit of a punch in the face, I guess. With it being $20, why is it $20?
It doesn't feel great to get DLC so soon after a game comes out, especially if it's not a season pass or something for future DLC. That seems like it's going to be it, right? So if you want the whole Donkey Kong Bonanza experience, that's a $90
$90. Thinking about spending $90 for this,
it's crazy. And I'm not super mad, because it's I feel like the base game did have enough content. It was a big game, but it does just feel like they kind of plucked this out, especially considering that I feel like Bonanza was finished for quite a bit before. I think it's just been sitting there done for a long time. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I did pick this up.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, AB?
I am the sucker that spent the 20 quid. It's cheaper over here.
Okay, I was going to say, it better not be 20 pounds.
Yeah. It's it's good. Are you familiar with how it's structured?
Kind of. I watched the presentation a couple times.
So it's basically a roguelike, where puts you down on the island. And you go work for Void Kong. You have to collect gems. You collect perks along the way, which are the abilities that you can get in the main game. You can gather those abilities separately, and then there are perks like roguelike perks will increase your percentage chance of doing whatever. And you have to hit a certain quota in a time limit, and you have to do 7 of those to complete a stage. And then there's multiple levels of difficulty within that stage, and then you can go to other environments from the main game. So you can do this mode on Lagoon Layer, you can do this mode on any of the other layers. All those names are escaping me right now. But yeah, you can do this mode on any of the layers.
Is it fun though? Do you enjoy it?
Well, if you like the mechanics in Donkey Kong Bonanza,
I'm asking you, do you like it?
I do.
Oh yeah, well, there you go.
Because this is taking that pretty great moveset that Donkey Kong has in that game and putting it in this this new context, which is really quite tightly focused. It's less around just wanton destruction. and just going from point, like you don't really actually have to do anything in Bonanza to like to progress.
Right.
In this, you have these really set targets, and you have to work out how to utilize that moveset in like the most like optimal way to hit these targets within the time limit. And that's pretty fun. Because this moveset is really cool. It's like there's a lot you can do with it. Like we've seen like the speedrunners and what they're doing with this. It's really like, like it won't be, because it won't be a big like streaming game, but it could be. Yeah, I think it's fun. It's pretty cool. I don't know how much I'm really going to play of it, but I think it's a great idea. And it is interesting that Nintendo are doing this as DLC for like some of their more mechanically interesting games, like with Splatoon 3 Side Order. That's a roguelite. They're taking the great mechanics of Splatoon and putting it in this new context. And they're doing the same with Donkey Kong Bonanza. I like that seems to be I don't know if twice is a pattern. So maybe we'll wait for the third. Wait till they do a Pikmin roguelite.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, I think this is a cool idea. I don't think it's going to get a big audience because it's come too soon. Like it's been kind of buried by all this other stuff. But I think you should give it a go, because if you like the mechanics in Donkey Kong, this is like a really tightly focused.
I do. I mean, I'm gonna pick this up. I just haven't yet.
Cool.
I think I definitely am interested in it, and I like roguelike mechanics, and I think that this looks like a ton of fun. I think that they shot themselves in the foot by making it $20 and releasing it so soon. I think that hopefully Nintendo takes the right lesson from this, because I do not think that this is going to sell well, because this game had so much good buzz and everybody really loved it, and I think that this soured the name of Donkey Kong Bonanza in the general public a little bit. Now, I'd love to eat my words, and this actually does really, really well, but I kind of doubt it. This feels a bit like a swing and a miss akin to something like Dragon Drive, rather than something that everybody gets, like the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild expansion pass or something like that, right? So we'll just have to see how it shakes out, but go ahead and move on. This is just gonna be a long episode. Kind of knew that going into it. Thanks for sticking around. But next up was the Pokemon section of the show. More Pokemon in this direct than I thought we were going to get, because generally, Pokemon saves that for their own presentations. But first off, we got a brand new game called Pokopia. This is yet again another kind of life sim, Animal Crossing style game. Maybe seeing a little bit of Minecraft in this as well. But you play as a Ditto who just yearns to be a real girl, who runs around this island, makes friends with Pokemon, creates a little community. This looks really charming. I don't know that this is for me, but I could see this doing buku numbers. I could see this really appealing to a lot of people. XanaGear, what were your thoughts on this game?
I'm into it. I played a bunch of the Dragon Quest builders. I played the first Dragon Quest builders. This seems a lot like that, with the more focused story objectives leading you along through the progression. And then I don't know. I like Animal Crossing. I'll probably check this out. I'm not like a huge Pokemon guy. I've played, I don't know, half of them. But I think this looks good. If it did they mention multiplayer or anything in this?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
It seems like it should be multiplayer. This seems like
that's why it will not be.
I hope it is, but if it's not, I could still see myself playing it.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Are you a Pokemon guy, AV?
Not really, no. Yeah. I don't really have any interesting takes on this, other than this makes me think that next Animal Crossing is a long way off.
Yeah, that's true.
They won't be releasing. I know it's different company, like Pokemon's different company, but it makes me think that they won't be even teasing the next Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I mean, why would you put out a new Animal Crossing if you could just play Linked Banner of the Spark?
Exactly.
No, this looks great. I'm excited for it, even if the main character is a little cursed to look at.
So distressing. Yeah.
Next up, we got another trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA. Wow, they are advertising the fucking shit out of this game. Nintendo really wants this to be the big thing coming forward. And it looks good. I mean, the game looks good. I've been hearing it's good. And so that's great to see. I think they showed off a couple new Mega Evolutions, but the thing that was really controversial about this was a $40 DLC that they already announced before the game even came out. right? So they've got this, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's got 2 Raichus in it. And it seems cool. I mean, this is going to be an expansion pass sort of thing. We knew this was going to happen, but it's just, I think people are starting to get a little tired of knowing that all this stuff is like in development. And especially there's stuff in the base game that you can get day one if you buy the DLC right off the bat, right? So that's $100 game if you're playing on Switch 1.
Is the game only 60?
60 on Switch 1, 70 on Switch 2.
Okay, so it's $110 on Switch 2. Cool.
If you want to play on Switch 2 with the
nice
Raichu content. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's probably any reason to play this content on day one. You'll have enough of the game to play through on day one, right? So I think that's fine to pass on this right away. Maybe it's Mega Dimension. That's what it's called. But whenever this eventually comes out and you finish it, and then the next story content comes out, that might be a better time to actually purchase this stuff. But I'm not the big Pokemon guy either on this podcast. There are people that are Pokemon fans that host the show. I am not really among them. I mean, I'm a lapsed Pokemon fan. I was a huge Pokemon fan when I was younger. But I am excited to try out ZA. I think it's looking pretty good. Next up, I'm going to kind of go through some of these a little quickly unless anybody has anything here. We got to do Danganronpa. That was announced, and this is actually a remake of Danganronpa 2x2. It's being called. I guess it's a remake of the second game, which is interesting because a Spike Chunsoft game just came out on the Switch, a brand new Spike Chunsoft game, but we've got a new Danganronpa coming out. After that, we got another look at Monster Hunter Stories 3. That's continuing to look good. I call that Monster Hunter 3 Houses because it looks very much like that game. Then we saw Dynasty Warriors Origins, which is the third Muso game. And then we saw a bit of a sizzle reel, including 2 Point Museum, Disgaea 7 Complete, EA Sports FC 26, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, Lego Voyagers, Little Nightmares 3, and Persona 3 Reload. We'd seen a lot of these before. Any of those stand out to you guys?
Nah, just more ports. Just more ports of games that I've already not played on other consoles.
Yeah. I think EAFC has the possibility to be a huge seller, I think, for the Switch 2. It's looking pretty good, and it's nice that that series is finally up to date with the other releases and not, shipping on some kind of, downgraded, borked version of the game. I think that's great. But yeah, I think it's
people can do their gambling on Switch now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankfully, Lego Voyagers looks good too, but I don't know too much about that game. But next up though was the penultimate presentation, and that was for Resident Evil Requiem. That's Resident Evil 9. So we saw this at the Gamescom opening night live. That was one of the big reveals there. This was showing off. It's looking like it's coming day and date to Switch 2. That is February 27th, 2026. Also releasing on the same day is 7 and Village. So you'll be 3 big Resident Evil games releasing on Switch 2 on the same day. That shows quite a bit of confidence from Capcom that Resident Evil fans will snatch up all of these. But I will say Resident Evil Requiem is looking pretty damn good on Switch 2. Yeah. I'm liking how third-party games are looking so far.
I saw some mixed reporting that it was like shown on Switch, but then people said it was on PC, and then they went back and said it was on Switch 2 actually. So I don't know what the final verdict on that was, but it definitely looks good.
It looks like Switch 2 to me. Like the hair is always a big giveaway with DLSS, right? It's like you can render that stuff, but individual strands of DLSS, they do not upscale super well. So that kind of leads me to believe that this is indeed a Switch 2 version. But if that is the case, I think it's looking pretty good. Do you have any thoughts on this, AB?
I was surprised to see it. What I did notice that they didn't have like a little caption saying all footage captured from Switch 2 or anything like that. So that's made me think, oh, maybe this is PC. But hey, if you notice the hair, if you're a big hair guy, then defer to your greater knowledge.
I was a big hair guy, but I started losing some of it.
I think this is just going back to what we were saying about Square earlier. I think this is cool that a big developer is putting like their biggest game on the Switch 2
on
day of release. It's cool. I don't know if it's for me, but
I'm not a big Resident Evil guy either.
No,
I'm a big Resident Evil guy.
Okay.
I did speedruns of Resident Evil 4. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Gotcha.
And then 7 and 8 are fantastic games. I can't wait for 9.
I played 4, and I loved it. Thought it was great, but not really. I played a bit of 1 like fairly recently, and was just like, I can't go back to this.
It's a hard
not
game
in
to go back to.
2025.
One remake when I'm sure we'll be getting a remake of the remake of 1 anytime now, but I do think that it's only a matter of time before all the RE Engine games come. So we'll probably be seeing 2, 3, 4, and then the upcoming Code Veronica, which I know is in development as well. So I think that Nintendo seems to be the home for Resident Evil going forward, just as it was back in the days of the GameCube. But we'll move on to our last one more thing that they showed off here in the presentation. And this was the new Fire Emblem. I think I'd like for us to give our thoughts, but then I would also, maybe right now, we can actually throw it to Summer for their thoughts on the reveal of Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave.
Hey everyone, it's Summer here, just doing a quick little insert to discuss some of my feelings about the Nintendo Direct, but specifically the Fire Emblem announcement that we got at the end of the Direct. Just wanted to share that on September 12th, when I woke up that morning, the first thought I had before I got out of bed was clown mode. We're going clown mode. We're going clown mode for this Direct. It'll be fun. Let's commit to the bit. So I got up, I brushed my teeth, I literally put on clown makeup to stream the Nintendo Direct. We like to joke about being clowns when we watch Nintendo Directs, that our shoes are squeaky, especially in the Fire Emblem fandom. Before every Nintendo Direct, we share photos online of our favorite characters wearing clown noses. So for the one more thing at the end to be a Fire Emblem announcement was very special, especially being a clown. It's not a Genealogy of the Holy War remake. It's not a remake at all. It is an entirely new game. It does seem to be related to Three Houses. The relic weapons are back. The crests are back. We've already identified some of the crests that were shown off in the trailer, and like which crests they are, and the characters from Three Houses that had the same crests as them. We know that Sothis, the main goddess from Three Houses, is back. But we don't know beyond that. Lots of speculation about is this a prequel? Is this a sequel? I'm personally of the opinion that maybe this is a far future, not exactly a sequel, but almost like parallel story situation. Or it could be a past future thing. I don't know. It could be there's a lot of speculation that maybe this is like a Gaiden / Shadows of Valencia to Mystery of the Emblem. So it's basically like a side story. Like maybe this is just something else that's also going on at the same time, or just a different part of Fodlan, or maybe not even Fodlan at all. It's really exciting. The trailer looked really good. This is the best that a Fire Emblem game has looked. Not that Engage didn't look good, but the character design specifically. So it's like that perfect blend of like the gorgeous animation of Engage, but the character designs that we liked from Three Houses. So I'm really excited. Really looking forward to this. Happy to discuss it in more detail and continue to nitpick this trailer apart with anyone who's willing to chat about it. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Summer. That was very well said. I appreciate your insight, as always. What did you guys think about what we saw from Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave here? Are you guys Fire Emblem fans?
I played half of Awakening too hard, and then I played Three Houses during the Three Houses hype cycle.
The pandemic.
And I played like 15 hours of it, and I said, I like it, but I fell off of it. I really, 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 really loved Disgaea. Like it's like one of my favorite franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But Fire Emblem is like always been right there, and that I should love. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I love this type of game. I've just never had a Fire Emblem really grab me. I think the story always puts me off a bit. I think it's a little too straight or something. There's something about it that is just a little too bland for me.
What about you, AV? Are you a big fan?
I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Ooh, we are letting Summer down
sorry.
this episode.
I know. I feel terrible.
Look, I like the franchise. I have not played all the games, but I mean, I played Awakening and I played Three Houses, and I enjoyed both those games. I even played some of Engage. I thought Engage was actually really great. I preferred a lot of the character designs actually in Engage to what we're seeing in this game. But also, Alucard Castlevania is just in this. Did you guys notice that? The guy looks exactly like Alucard in this game. I was just like, can you just do that? Can you just put Alucard in a game like that? That doesn't seem legal. But I don't know. I'm excited. And it seems like this is going to be a continuation of the Three Houses storyline, or at least Sothis, the character from Three Houses, is kind of the little tag at the end of this trailer here, showing that it will kind of be a continuation of that storyline, or at least, within the same sort of canon, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't get to like the big thing in Three Houses that I kind of know is coming, and I should go back. I own it. I should go back and finish it. I spent $60 on it. I should finish that game.
Three Houses is a really good game, but it is easy to pick up and put down for a while.
Yeah.
I am totally willing to be persuaded on Three Houses or Engage. Should I in the year of 2025 pick up either of these?
I think especially if Three Houses gets a Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade and plays a little bit better on Switch 2. Three Houses is a great game, and it's a great story. It's got really good battle mechanics. It's not super hard. Engage is a lot harder than Three Houses. It is a pretty easy game, and it's got great characters. It's just easy to get lost in, especially if you have patience for games like that. It seems like you're maybe not a huge JRPG guy. AV?
Oh, you picked up on that.
Yeah. So I don't know about that, but I really did enjoy it. I don't think I ever finished the game, but if you want to, there's a ton of content. There's like 3 different paths you can go down, and a lot of those characters still to this day really stuck with me. So, but that was a pretty exhaustive review here of the first general direct of the Switch 2 era. I do quickly want to go over some stuff that we thought was going to be in here that is missing, that I hope we hear from soon. A lot of that being Mario's 40th anniversary stuff. I was really expecting to see Mario Maker 3 here. I thought that was a slam dunk. I thought that was a gimme. That seemed like kind of the best way that they could support Mario's 40th anniversary without having to do another 3D Mario game. But it seems that the movie was really the main thing that they were pushing for the Mario portion here. Mario Brothers 35, there was no Mario 40 here. I loved that game. That was one of my favorite games on the Switch. It was sad not to see that. Like I said, we didn't get any first-party Switch 2 upgrades. That seemed like a layup, but maybe that's just something that they'll dole out over Nintendo today. Microsoft. I think it's kind of weird that we haven't seen anything from Microsoft on Switch 2 yet, right?
They fired everyone, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess so.
Microsoft is just weird at the moment. So, to me, it wasn't so surprising. Like, there's no sort of telling like what they're going to do at the moment, apart from mostly counterintuitive stuff like firing all their staff, closing all their studios. Why would they advertise their games?
Yeah,
like, that would just be logical. Yeah.
I don't know. I Microsoft is legally obligated to release a Call of Duty game on the Switch 2. So I'm just surprised we haven't seen anything from it.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
they're gonna wait until the last possible moment to do that.
I guess
they don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be year 9 of that agreement before we actually see a Call of Duty on it.
Phil, you got to port it yourself. Yeah. Zero talk of any kind of Mario Kart World updates. I know the game is pretty recent, but I mean, fuck. Donkey Kong Bonanza got paid DLC and no word on Mario Kart. And I think Mario Kart World needs updates way more than Donkey Kong Bonanza does. So
put Pauline from Bonanza in Mario Kart World.
I thought we'd be getting the big blowout of all the Donkey Kong Island or whatever in Mario Kart World in this. And we didn't get anything. That's fine. But I would really like to see free updates to Mario Kart World, given that it's an $80 game. That would be really, really nice. I was very surprised we did not see Splatoon Raiders. We still don't really know how that game is going to play, but I just imagine we'll be getting, they dropped that announcement outside of a direct, so maybe we'll just get a random Nintendo Today trailer for that coming up. And then Rhythm Heaven as well. We didn't hear anything about the new Rhythm Heaven game that's coming to Switch 1, but there's time for that. I imagine that'll be coming after Tomodachi Life anyway. But I think with that, let's give it a rating. Out of we generally here give it a rating on the A to F scale. So if you had to do that, let's start with you, XanaGear. What would you give this direct?
I'd give this direct a B. I'm gonna give it a B, not a B plus. I'm gonna give it a B, and mostly because of Hades 2. I think without Hades 2, that incredible trailer, I think I'd bump it down to a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that and Mario Galaxy are really carrying it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy for the Fire Emblem fans. I mean, the game is going to be great. People are going to love it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Avi?
I think for me, there's only a couple of things really in the direct that I'll be getting, but there's such a broad spread of big stuff for big audience. There's Fire Emblem, not for me, but it's great for those people. Resident Evil, that's not for me, but that's a huge game there's a load of big fans of. There's all the Pokemon stuff, and then for me there's Virtual Boy, Hades 2, and Mario Galaxy. A minus. I say A minus because it's not just thinking about how much stuff there is in here for a huge audience.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in here that covers the end of this year, way into 2026, and these are big things for several different audiences.
Sure.
So just trying to think of it like that. I think this gets an A minus, which may be too generous, but I don't know. I can't give the Virtual Boy, I can't give the announcement of that anything less than an A.
Please, I'm wearing the shirt. I think that I would. I came into this thinking that I would be giving this an A minus because that's kind of how I felt when I was finished. But now that we've gone through the whole thing again, I think that I'm with you, XanaGear, on this one. I think I'd give it a B, a straight B. And I think that Virtual Boy, was the highlight of it for me, honestly. I do love the Virtual Boy, and I think it's so funny that they're releasing it, right? And I just think it's cool, right? And I think that's something that I'm very excited for. Metroid Prime 4, I think looks fantastic. The Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC, I am excited about. Pokemon ZA, actually, fuck it. You know what? B plus. I'm giving it a B plus. I'm going to be in the middle of you guys because I think that there is actually quite a bit here for David. And even if everything here isn't for me, the stuff that is in here that isn't for me, I can see a lot of people getting really excited about. So this is a kind of presentation that I think is pretty good. I think ultimately maybe I would have liked a smaller direct for just the Mario stuff. I do think we were missing stuff from that Mario presentation. There is a chance that we'll be getting more games as part of Mario's 40th anniversary. I think on the website it says, here are some of the games that are coming out for Mario, or it says something like that, right? Or a few of the games that are coming out for Mario's anniversary. So hopefully that's the case, and we do see some more stuff coming through, or at the very least, give us updates for some of these games. Add mouse mode into Mario Maker 2 if you're not going to release a Mario Maker 3, right? But other than that, I think I'm going to give it a B plus, which I think brings the average to B plus for this episode. So good job, Nintendo.
Perfect.
You passed.
I think maybe it's a bit unfair with these presentations on my thoughts, because I think sometimes the big surprise leaves me with a specific feeling after it's over. And this definitely did not have a big surprise. But I think with Fire Emblem fans, I think this would have been the best. I think A plus.
I popped off on behalf of Summer for this one because I just know in our Discord we have a Fire Emblem specific channel. I know that we got a lot of fans. So I was just happy. I was happy on behalf of all the FE spoilers fans that we have in our Discord. But I think that was a pretty exhaustive time. I think we're going to call it there on the main topic. Thank you so much to both of you for talking through that with me. And you, listener, if you have any thoughts on the direct, please put them below in the comments here on the YouTube version, or shout us out on social media or on Discord. And with that, we're going to roll into our last section of the show, which is the games we've been playing recently. So I've been playing a few games recently. Some of them I'm actually leaving off, but one that I really wanted to bring up, this just came up on my radar. Thanks to the Huge in the Discord for bringing this up. But it's a game called Cinecross, which is currently in a playtest, which you can play on Steam. I was playing this recently on my Steam Deck, and it is literally a Picross roguelike. You heard that. This game is fucking made for me. I am.
Oh my God.
Are you a Picross fan as well?
I am watching the trailer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I am going to play this video game.
Yes. Get it now while it's on the playtest on Steam because it's free right now when you can play it. It's definitely got work to be done on it, but holy fucking shit, guys. This is like right up my alley. It is basically, Slay the Spire mixed with Balatro mixed with Picross, right? And it is so much fun, and it is so much less about like getting a picture at the end as it is about like just filling out nonograms as fast as you can without making mistakes, right? So it's like every time you make a mistake, you lose HP. And then also every new like level that you get to, time goes faster. Right. So it's like you might have like 12 minutes of time built up because it like accrues as you play the levels. But then when you're on like level 4, or the fourth, layer or whatever, it goes way faster. And so it's like, and the puzzles get harder. So it's just so much fun. And you get all these modifiers that you unlock as you go, and you get items and stuff like that. Dude, this game is incredible. Like there's a chance that this might be the last video game that I ever play. But I'm very excited. I just learned about this game last night and I'm beside myself with excitement. So we'll put a pin in that for right now. I did finish Shadow of the Colossus, the remake on PS4. I played that on my PS5 and I loved it. It's incredible. I forgot about a lot of what happens at the end of that game. And
Good,
needless to
happy
say,
ending.
yeah, I was very emotional by the end of that game. It was a beautiful remake made by great Austin developers, Blue Point Games. I still think the original probably is unmatched in terms of vibes and aesthetic, but the remake is a worthy remake indeed and definitely worth playing. Other than that, I know I'm not a Silksong guy, but I got the Metroidvania bug because of everybody playing Silksong. So I booted up Metroid Zero Mission, a game that you can beat in like 3 hours, even if you don't know where you're going. It's very hard to get lost in Metroid Zero Mission. So I've been playing that through on NSO on the Game Boy on my Switch, and I love this game so much. It's such a blast. I've probably played through this game like 3 or 4 times. I still don't ever really know where I'm going just because I'm terrible with memory in Metroidvanias, but I do love it so much.
I played through Super Metroid the day before Silksong came out because I was wanting to play Metroidvania really bad, and I played through all of Super Metroid.
Yeah.
That game's Metroid's so good.
Yeah, Metroid's just so good, I'm also just getting hyped for I'm getting really hyped for Prime, and I think playing some of Zero Mission was really great. But last thing I'll say is that I picked up Gimmick Special Edition a while ago, actually. This is a brutally hard NES Famicom game that got a a definitive version that is out on the Switch. Gimmick 2 also released. There was like a sequel that was made recently, and also the composer of the original Gimmick, Masahi Kageyama. He just passed away very young. He was at 62 as well, so that was really sad.
Did you see who did the music for Gimmick 2?
It's David Wise, right?
David Wise.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah. So he took up the
That's how
mantle.
I found out about that game.
Right.
I was reading about David Wise.
Right. So it's definitely a really cool release. Like I said, brutally difficult. There's a lot of but it's got all the rewind features and stuff that you would hope to have in an old school release like this. So I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of cool features. But AV, let's go with you. What have you been playing recently?
Well, I played the Bonanza DLC, like I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
I've been playing a game called Dunkadillo, which is the most recent game by my favorite indie dev, a guy called Thomas K. Young. He's a New Zealand-based developer, and he puts out at least one game a year. He did the Daddish series, if you're familiar with those. And he released a game earlier this year called Be Brave Barb, which is this really really charming like isometric auto walker thing. Dunkadillo is just a simple platformer where you play this armadillo that turns into a basketball, and you're constantly bouncing through these levels. You have to get to the hoop at the end. It's just like simple, like incredibly fun.
Looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like an episode on all of his games last week. They're all like just like short, simple, all with like a unique like mechanic, and all just like incredibly fun. I love all of those games. Played that, but these have all just been sort of like distractions to the main event, which has been Hollow Knight Silksong, which I've been playing pretty compulsively since it released. I don't have like an enormous amount of time, like to game, but every moment I have been has been with this. It's had like a rough sort of first couple of hours with it, which I think is pretty much everyone's first few hours with it, but it is fantastic. This is a really special game. Like the world design, sound design, the theming of it, and the actual like the narrative, the story, and the way that is tied to the gameplay and the game design choices that they have made is really quite something. It's also really funny. And sorry, like XanaGear, if you're going to talk like more about this, I won't go on about it too long. It's probably way funnier than people think it is. The dialogue is excellent. Hornet's great character, and I love the focus on music in it. I'm in Act 2. I won't say any more because people are very sensitive about spoilers on this game. Like, I think justifiably. I think it is very good. And this is like coming from someone who played Hollow Knight originally in 2020. I dropped it because I just found it like too brutal. Picked it back up last year, played through it, absolutely loved it, like completely turned around on it. I'm very, I'm sort of like head over heels for Silksong at the moment. I think it's a very special game.
It's funny that you mentioned falling off Hollow Knight, because I bought Hollow Knight. I actually posted this on Blue Sky. I bought Hollow Knight in the month it came out, and then I refunded it the same day.
No way.
because I played it for like 30 minutes and was like, I'm not feeling this Metroidvania. I'm going to get another Metroidvania. And I bought Axiom Verge, which Axiom Verge I've played for like 7 hours and is not one of my favorite games of all time, like Hollow Knight became. Hollow Knight, I've 112% it, which is the max percent in it, multiple times now. I did a speed run of it. I've beaten the hardest boss on Radiant mode, which is the hit list mode in the first game. So I was it's a very hard boss. I was ready for Silksong, and it did not disappoint at all. It is very, even after I did the Radiant boss like 3 weeks ago. Even after doing that, I struggled at the beginning of Silksong. Silksong is a really hard game. And it does not get easier. It just gets harder and harder and harder. That game, there's one section that I literally can't believe that they put in there because it's so ridiculously brutal. But I would say that while the difficulty is high, I think it initially presents itself as unapproachable. But when you break it down, I think that the telegraphs on the boss fights, the telegraphs on the enemies are all so slow. You just don't know to expect them and don't know how to handle them when you first see them. So it always feels impossible. It's not like a Dark Souls game. Obviously a lot of people compare it to Dark Souls because they were inspired by Dark Souls when creating Hollow Knight and Silksong. But it's not like Dark Souls in the sense that you have to have like this rhythm-based timing, which actually Dark Souls is like my favorite game of all time. Dark Souls 1. Eventually, their insistence on making mechanics where you just have to dodge perfectly for like 5 minutes, that put me off the Elden Ring DLC so hard. I did not finish the Elden Ring DLC, which was so sad because the bosses just became this challenge of like, okay, memorize on when to press the button at the perfect time. Silksong does not do that. Hollow Knight does not do that. The bosses do telegraphs that are very slow, and you just need to learn when to jump out of the way, basically. And I think that that obviously the platforming is also very hard. They start the game with this diagonal pogo that they require you to do pogos on like small objects, and your pogo is diagonal, so it's putting a lot of people off. But I think the difficulty is is high. It's high. You can't there's no caveat to it. It's just a hard game that will put a lot of people off, but it's not for everyone.
It's all good. I mean, I think it's not like it's going to lose sales because it's hard. It's like like these kinds of games. It's great to have these kinds of games with very difficult gameplay in them, and in fact, I think there's some stuff that's already been patched to be easier, right? Or at least on PC. So
it made the speedrun easier,
right?
you don't have to pick up more than one syllable object in the speedrun anymore.
Yeah, but either way, I'm really happy for both of you and how much you've been enjoying Silksong. I did play a little bit of it as well when it came out. I played my friend Jordan's copy, but yeah, it seems great. It seems like a lot of people are still playing through this game. It's definitely in the cultural milieu right now. But
fantastic game.
Great to hear. I'm looking forward to watching your speedrun. I think that'll be fun. Maybe I'll see you at GDQ. Maybe one day. I'll ever see you at GDQ? No, maybe not. I'm going to try to go this year. I think it's going to be fun. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Wow, what a fucking blast. Talking through the Nintendo Direct with two brand new friends here on the podcast that we got on for the first time. Thanks to both of you, XanaGear and AV, for coming on today's episode. Thanks to MilkyWay.co for doing our website. Thanks to Corduroy for doing our music. Thanks to all of our patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to find me online, I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji. And what about you, AV? Where can people find you online?
Well, I write and record a podcast called Dialogue Tree. You can find the show online at dialoguetree.cc. It's a show about video games in which I try and talk about good games in good and interesting ways. I feel I really need to justify my existence because being a white guy on the internet talking about video games is just so cursed. But
we're underrepresented, man. It's so hard.
Yeah, we are the minority. I just try to talk about good games in interesting ways. I've done
great podcast. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Done like soundtrack episodes, interviews. I write some music for the show. I did this ridiculous 15-minute episode on why I didn't really like Balatro, which is mostly sound collage from this late 90s poker show that we had in the UK. If any of that sounds interesting to you and doesn't make you want to run a mile, find the show online, dialoguetree.cc.
Very good.
Thanks.
What about you, XanaGear? Where can people find you?
Find me on YouTube, youtube.com/XanaGear, and Blue Sky. XanaGear at XanaGear.com, even though XanaGear.com is not actually a website you can go to. I do own that domain just for Blue Sky.
I think I at one point owned monolithfiji.com as well. I might hit you up about how you set that up because I want to do that as well, I think, on Blue Sky. But that's great. Yeah, definitely check out XanaGear as well. Great streamer. Like I said, I'm a big fan of your Spelunky content and your UFO 50 content, all your Moss Mouth adjacent content. And I know right now you're currently playing through Silksong, or you're uploading your Silksong playthrough.
Uploading my Silksong play. Yeah, I played through it all in 4 days.
Awesome.
Like a monster.
Are you planning on throwing up speed runs as well on your channel?
I'm planning on doing the first run on Friday, I think.
Awesome. Very good.
I've already practiced it a few times.
Well, definitely check out XanaGear on Twitch and YouTube. And if you'd like to find our show on social media, we are at Switch Headz on Blue Sky and Twitter, at Super Switch Headz on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We have a website, that's switchheadz.com. And then, like I said before, we have a Patreon, a Discord, and a Facebook group. We'll have links to all three of those in the description of this episode. Whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a review over there on those two podcasting platforms. You could comment on Spotify now. And if you could like and subscribe over on our YouTube channel, we could use a little bit of love over there on the sub count on the YouTube. We would love it if you would go and watch over there. We put a lot of work into the video version of the show. And then, like I said, join us over on the Discord. We have such a wonderful community and we'd love to have you be a part of it. I know you just joined XanaGear, and then AV, you've been a member of the community for quite a while on the Discord. Could you attest to the community on the Switch Headz Discord?
I can attest to the quality of the community in the Switch Headz Discord.
Yes.
It is great. It's a great place to be. I'm there all the time. There's a lot of interesting people saying interesting things and creating interesting things. So
we've got a bustling news and politics channel as well. If you're looking to talk about anything that is not gaming related, but join us over there. That'll be great. But I think that's going to do it. Like we said, we've got another great episode planned for you next week. I'm going to be out of town, so we actually have a very special episode that we've pre-recorded that's going to be playing next week. I can't wait for you guys to hear that one. But other than that, you guys know the drill. Stay safe out there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. Free Palestine and all that. We love you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.